vape thing. I don't even
All
know
right.
what flavor this is. Strawberry watermelon.
I got
We're on, gentlemen.
what's up, G? I gotta tell the flavor. I got grape
Yo,
ice. Yo, so stereotypical.
yeah. What color?
Oh my goodness. What's up,
What's up,
fella?
everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Good, baby. Who's in
Okay.
here? Corey Dory, what's up,
We
Jay?
got Corey and Garcia for right
Berto.
now.
¿Y cómo está? ¿Qué es lo que, es, mi amor?
Yo, Corey,
See what he says. See if he's paying
Corey,
attention.
Corey Adorable. She had a live stream on Instagram, and I think, in my personal opinion, Corey Adorable, if you're listening, you might want to pick up where you left off. Talking about the bicers. And
Yeah.
getting some biker people up there. It got really good. She did an Instagram and it kind of accidentally got into bikers, but
Hmm.
it got real good. It got real good.
People
Um,
like meat, bro.
mm,
You feel
it
me?
got real good at that.
People
Yeah,
like meat. They like substance. It's
Yeah.
catching on, bro. We're gonna
yeah,
continue to promote substance, bro.
yeah.
Hashtag dark water. Oh, that
Word.
for real, bro.
Yep. I mean, I still am trying to get people to for me personally, and like I was telling Corey Dorable, she because she's a planet person, um, a planet tank person, them
Hmm.
bicers, yeah, they big monster fish, whatever,
They
but they
love that.
love them planet tanks, man.
Yeah, they
As
They
soon
do.
as I
love being here.
they love them, they love them. It changes the whole dynamic of the fish's attitude and
Yeah, they do.
personality. It's way more interesting.
You know what I learned from being a just like a curious kid? You remember in the 80s, they didn't have all these technical terms they have nowadays. They just used to hit us. You know, they said I was a hyperactive kid. It's kind of fitting for today's topic, you know.
Hmm.
But they said I was hyperactive, right? And I would always sit and stare at the fish tanks. And I'm one of those like, that's not true type of cats. Like, show me.
Hmm.
And so you read a book, and the book says, let's make an example, like a bluegill or like a largemouth bass, right? So I'm reading the book about the largemouth bass, and it says it's an ambush predator. What is the Micropterus salamoides is the name, largemouth bass for the
Here
people
you go.
in
Here
another
you go.
country or something.
Here
So
you go.
shut your ass up, boy. So so it says ambush predator X, Y, and Z, all this stuff, right? And I'm like, I want to see if it's true. So story. Encyclopedias. You remember the encyclopedias back in the day? The World
Encyclopedia
Book?
Britannica. They got
Yeah,
me. They got
yeah,
me for a set of those,
yeah.
man.
We
They got
had
me for
the
a
They
set of
got
those.
hey,
everybody.
we had
There
the
was no
leather
internet.
set. We
That
had
was
the
the internet.
leather set of
Yep.
the World Book encyclopedias. They was tan and brown leather, baby. And I
Yep.
used to read them joints every day after
Go
school. I
riding.
couldn't wait. Yeah,
Go
yeah.
riding.
I'm getting excited. Nostalgia, baby. So I would go home from school, and Granny was cheap, so we ain't had a cable for a hot minute. I ain't had cable till I was a
I
teenager.
don't even think there was cable until
Yeah,
I was
like for
almost a
real, bro. We was
teenager.
we was on free channels with the
You know,
antenna.
we had a hanger
For
taped to the
real.
wall. It was
I
taped on the wall,
yes,
like
yes, yes. And we had one of them big janks. You had to go outside and turn that hoe. For real.
Yeah, that's the way it was down in
Yeah.
Mexicali. You had to
Yeah.
take that
That,
antenna, depending on what
we had
channel
to
you
turn
wanted
that
to
bitch.
watch. You had to go over there. I
Yes.
think my
Baby.
grandfather had actually marked little tick marks
Or where the signal was at.
on the bracket, and he had you knew if it lined up with the antenna on that bracket, it was certain station. And
Huh.
I remember he used to have to send us up there to the roof to go because he used to like watching bullfighting.
Right?
So that was his thing. He liked watching bullfighting, so we would have to go over there and turn the damn antenna so that he could watch the bullfighting.
See? So that's what I'm so like. I would be reading these books. Same thing. We just TV wasn't the thing. I read the encyclopedias and I'm trying to see if it's true. So I had this one auntie, mi tia. She was like the auntie of my grandma, and she was still alive. It was cool. And Eduardo, what's up, man? And
Good afternoon. Uh-oh.
I thought she was the coolest thing ever because she had chihuahuas. She had dogs in the house, and I loved it. So I go to her house. Ain't Ida, rest in peace. And she would like give me snacks, and I get to stay up and play with them damn dogs. Now she had a nice parcel of land. She lived like kind of in the boonies, so it was a treat to go over there. All right. She had these different dogs outside, and one of the dogs she had was a black and tan. It's the only color they come in. It was a Gordon Setter. It's a uncommon bird dog, but it's a somewhat known Gordon Setter, black, beautiful dog. I'm trying to see if this bird dog is really a bird dog, right? Now, Auntie had chickens. Yeah, this is where it's going. So, my mischievous ass made a trail of dog food from the carport all the way back around the house to the chicken coop, and I hit the board. I didn't open the chicken coop. I just hit the board. You know what I'm saying? Because I kept like I knew that the dog when he went over there, he would like get all crazy after the chickens. So long story short, the dog got in the chicken coop, and it was like one of them old shits because it was chickens everywhere, bro, everywhere. And he was just in there, just having the time. Like he was like me when I was in my 20s with money at the club. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know which one to get. Just he was in there, and I got scared and I freaked out and I ran in the house and I just sat on the couch and I ain't say nothing, bro. I sat on the couch like this, like I was in church, bro, straight ahead. And my auntie was like, "What you doing, boy?" I was like, "Nothing." She's like,
So,
"You okay?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am." Bro, we went outside because it was time to go home.
mm.
It was chickens everywhere, bro. In the trees,
Get,
like he had got a few of them,
get the mic
but
closer to your mouth,
you know,
Steve. Yeah, there you go.
needless to yeah, I'm an experimenter. So that's kind of how I run my tanks, man. I want to see if it's true or not. So I've always kind of been thirsty for knowledge, I guess you could call it.
see,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was younger, all I cared about was getting out in them streets and messing with them females. That was my whole thing. Even at a young age, that was my whole thing.
Getting out of the streets.
Getting out in them streets and messing with them females. That was my whole thing.
No, I was a late bloomer of sorts.
Yeah.
I'm
Where
pretty sure.
where Waldo go?
He
Uh,
just turned off the
he
camera.
just turned off the
Oh,
camera. Oh, there he
oh,
is.
there you go.
I'm right here.
What's JCM mean?
Just
Just
call
call
me.
me.
Oh, those are my initials. That's how come it was throwing me off.
That's
It's
crazy. It
Master
is.
Aquatics. Just call me Eduardo. So I
Oh,
just
okay,
abbreviated
okay,
it. Just call me.
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why
Or
do you have such a long
Long,
channel
I
name?
know.
This is a story. There's a story. What's the story?
Yeah, give it up.
you said you knew, so go ahead, spill it. You made a comment about it too.
Who? Who did?
This guy named Aquafunk.
I didn't say I knew. No, I didn't say I knew why your name was that long.
My name is Eduardo Antonio Orengo Costa, which is
No, no.
longer.
Uh,
Yes.
No,
So
I'm
I
talking
used to
about.
have.
I'm talking about
I ha-
why did you call it Master Aquatics?
Just
Just
call
call me
me.
Eduardo.
Right. I was
Because
about to
his
tell you.
name is long as hell, and he gets tired of people fucking up his name, so he's like, "Fuck it, just call me Eduardo." And Master
And
Aquatics is his YouTube handle, so
right.
it's Master Aquatics. Don't try to say my
You want
name.
to know?
Just
You want
call
to
me
know
Eduardo.
when
I'm tracking, G. I'm
when
tracking.
I
I was
when
pretty
I
close. I
first
know I was.
started my YouTube channel, it was Aquafunk Aquatics with Jay the Angel Freak, and I wrote that whole thing out, and I cut all that. I said, "What? That's too
What?
much." People just called me Aquafunk. They just called me
Yeah.
the first the first two words, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut my name down to the first two words.
That's
That's too
8
much.
words.
Well,
Aquafunk Aquatics with Jay the Angel Freak.
Yeah. I was like, people just called me the first two words. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I'm Aquafunk.
Mhm. And it sticks and it
Yeah.
sticks. Well, um, yes. I was in a stream and someone said, "Damn, your name's so damn long." Da 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 da. Da. So I was like, "Okay, here you go." So I went, changed it to Master Aquatics. I've been in the hobby for 45 years. That pretty much makes me a master of the hobby in my case, and I'm pretty good at what I do. And then I was like, but I still want my name. So then I just said, just Master Aquatics, just call me Eduardo. And then I went on the stream with the new name, and oh, that was like, what the hell? What the frick? And vete pa la porra. Anyway, so now it's stuck. So now I'm stuck with that.
You want
And
to
I'm
know?
actually, today I was modding all over the place, and I'm still watching Foxy's Egg Watch 2022 Axolotl,
Oh yeah.
and that's really going great. Ricky already popped out. We're waiting for Ethel, Fred, and Lucy to pop out. It's fun. I mean, I'm and um exactly, Mark, exactly. And the funny thing is, I've uploaded or trying to upload several videos
Yo,
onto YouTube that I've taken about with my fish and my orchids. And carajo, YouTube doesn't. They've been on since yesterday, and it still hasn't. It's still pending, and it's driving me crazy. Hello, Ian. How are you?
Hey,
You speak Spanish? You speak Spanish, Ian? Yeah.
sometimes when that happens, you just gotta cancel it and redo it. It's happened to me before. Sometimes when it just takes forever, like 2 days to load, just
mm-hmm.
cancel it and redo it. That's what I've had to do that before.
Right.
The funny thing is, your name, Master Aquatics, the first two words. I mean, not to talk trash about anybody, they ain't even have a channel no more. I mean, they don't even post anymore.
I
But
heard.
when I that guy Master Aquatics, I used to like it. It was all about angelfish. But and then
Right.
he started getting crazy, doing stupid things, and I was like, bro, you suck. Like, stop doing this stuff. Like, he became a pariah on YouTube.
Yeah.
Master
Hey,
Aquatics.
Peplin. Yeah.
I
But
don't
he
know
was
if I
already
remember
Master
that cat.
Aquatics. I remember that cat. But
Yeah,
I didn't remember his. I don't remember YouTubing. I remember somebody saying, I think it was you. I
yeah,
think you did when you
probably.
first saw the
Because I was
stream.
like, Master
I know that
Aquatics.
anthem.
Mm,
Yep. Yep. But no,
where
no,
he
I'm not
was
that
at
guy. That's for sure.
huh?
when he
I
was
said
on
I'm not
there.
that guy. That's for
He was
sure.
on about 4 or 5 years ago. And he was all about angelfish, and I was all about his channel. Then
Back
he
in the
started doing
olden days.
about 4 or 5 years ago, and then he started doing some ridiculous thing like putting stuff in Hennessy, putting fish in Hennessy, and turning his bathtub into a tank, and not taking a. I didn't take a bath in 2 weeks. You a damn liar. You know
You a
you took a.
pig. You a
Yeah,
damn
so
pig.
he just started doing ridiculous
Cerdo,
stuff.
cerdo, un
Yeah.
cerdo. That's what
So
that's
I
what my
stopped.
sister would say.
I don't know if I
He became
remember
a
this cat.
pariah. He became
I
pariah. So.
at least he didn't become a piranha.
Mm.
I'm
Well, shit. How was y'all's holiday, man? Might as well go ahead and get into the meat of it, bro. We got
All
a
right.
good,
yeah.
we
Well,
got a good one
I'll
today
go ahead
too.
and start off then.
Yeah, bro.
For us, we did something a little different this year. Actually, we as well, many of you don't know, most of my kids are already out of the house and married and with kids. So we were finding out that trying to get everybody together for the holidays was starting to become a bit of an inconvenience because it comes to whose family are you going to go to spend the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So my wife and I, being that it's just me and her now, we decided, you know what? Let's not put them through that anymore. Why don't we just celebrate a week before? That way we can have them come over. They're not here for a couple of hours. They can hang out as long as they want, and then go on when they're done. And so we did that this year, and it worked out perfect. I mean, the kids were over. We had our grandkids. I mean, we hung out. There was not that sense of urgency to hurry up and
Mm-hmm.
eat and then try to go to the in-laws. So we kind of liked it. I think it's something we're going to continue to do, and it also kind of lined up for us because my wife was off that day, and I worked graveyard, so I was able to spend most of that day with them, and then after dinner go sleep for a little bit and then go to work. So
Mhm.
it really worked out really good for us. So I think that's something that we're gonna continue to pursue, and just let's see how it works out. Maybe it becomes a new family tradition to do it that way.
Hmm.
So we'll see. But Eduardo, how was yours?
Well, let me see.
Yeah, Yeah, think
I
about it.
tried. No, no. I was off this week from school, so I had several things to do in the house besides bring down all the Christmas stuff that was upstairs in the attic down so I can get it ready so I can get it to school this week or on Monday. Then I started working on the orchids because of Ian. I had to move them, so I had to put them back, and they're all babies all over the place. So I had to break them up, do all that kind of stuff, and then I started saying, "Hey, let me start doing a couple of videos with my orchids." And I did a couple of videos with the orchids and repotting and stuff like that. Added some fish, added some photographs that I've had and what I've taken and all that stuff. So I did that. That's some of the videos that I'm putting out. And then um, Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving, I had to prepare a ham with all the fixing, clavo and pineapple and glazing it and doing all that stuff. Wrap it up, put it in storage so that it will be ready to cook on Thursday. And then I prepared the turkey with the stuffing, mofongo stuffing
Oh,
with
okay.
gizzards, hígado, and all that other stuff that I
Mhm.
do. Then I had the stuffing on the side, which I also had a wrap to take because I was taken to my best friend's house. Anyway,
¿Cómo
so
fue
we did
eso?
all that. We ate by
That's
1 o'clock. It was done, and I was already back
Turkey
home
con mofongo.
three, by three, because I don't do a lot of hi, how are you? Because last time a couple of people got COVID, and one of them passed away this summer, and due to the complications. Anyway, that being said, then I just started doing uploading and doing all the uploading, and I still had my ham, and I did the ham here. The ham was for the house, so I did that, and I just been then I made arroz con gandules yesterday, so I can have with the ham. So I made a big pot of arroz con gandule, and I've been eating ham and arroz con gandule, and of course my aunt's potato salad that I snatched from the activity because that's what I do. I snatch a potato salad, and she's here from Puerto Rico, so yeah, it was boring. Couldn't stand it.
You know,
Well,
how did it come out the turkey? The pavo con mofongo, así.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Do you do the
first of all,
whole bird, or
everything is
did you just do the
no,
pechuga
no,
como
no. I
como?
do the mofongo, and then I stuff the bird with the mofongo when it's cooking.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah.
it's a mixture of plantains,
Sí, pero
gizzards
yo sabe
chopped
lo que
up,
es
and
mofongo.
livers.
I
Yeah,
just didn't think
chopped
about
up
putting
and
it in
all
a
that.
I've
turkey.
never had that.
Yeah,
Mofongo?
I do my
No,
own
I never had
sofrito.
that in a turkey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Sound good. You put
I never
chicharrón
had that.
también.
and then I did the el sofrito that I mix all the vegetables and and then I mix it all in and stuff like that. Anyway, so I do all that, stuff it in, and I do use old bread, like
Uh,
the I take
Crusty ass bread.
no no
Yeah.
no no, I freeze the bread.
Oh,
Like
you
the Puerto
freeze it?
Rican bread, I freeze it so
uh-huh.
that when I'm gonna go make the stuffing, I put it in a blender and I just chop it all up and then put it in with the stuffing. That's just to hold it together.
Óyeme,
And
óyeme. Wait a minute. You
yes,
mix mofongo con
con
pan?
pan, con pan que está pan viejo, no pan nuevo,
Sí, sí, viejo. Dije lo que
like
poner eso en el
croutons. I make
congelador. Sí, sí, sí.
yeah.
That's how my grandma used to
Ambos,
have bread.
ambos mezclados así. Los plátanos y pan juntos.
See, yes.
Wow.
Right. Well, it's only for substance in order to hold it. When I do the mofongo out of the turkey,
Uh-huh.
that stays in. That's like a big ball inside of there. But I also make mofongo outside, and people just eat that up. I mean, they literally. That's you got the mashed potatoes, or you got the I mean, not mashed potatoes. We don't do mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
We
about to
do
say, who does
ensalada
that?
de papa. You
Sí.
got the ensalada de papa, and you got the mofongo. The mofongo goes first. And
Really?
ensalada de papa, when I'm telling you, ensalada de papa is really good. Potato salad,
Sí,
that
Yeah.
ensalada
woman cooks
rusa.
that
Es
so
como
good.
rusa. Ensalada rusa, así mismo.
Yep.
With the like
But
carrots and all that in there, and the egg.
yes, a little bit of
Okay.
carrots, eggs, and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is really, really good because she does her own mayonnaise. You know
Mm-hmm.
that mayonnaise is made out of oil and eggs.
Oil and
So she
egg.
does
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
all, and then she puts it into the salad, the potato salad. So it's super, super fresh.
Ain't
I
gonna
mean, you
figure out
walk
pay
in
me
the
my
house and
plane
that thing
ticket. You
grabs your
talking about
ass. That's how
normal?
fresh
That's
it is.
normal food.
But
Yeah.
that was interesting. You know, I hadn't really thought about that.
Huh.
I think culturally, I've always thought I hadn't really thought about how we cook Thanksgiving dinner and how it might vary from culture to culture.
Oh yeah.
That hadn't until you just mentioned that, and I guess I was trying to think, what do I do differently, or where does my heritage come into play with it? But the only thing that I can think of, because we kind of do the traditional trimmings for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
but of course we got to have spice. I mean, you know, well, you see, my stuffing. If you ate my stuffing, you would think you're eating tamales in a casserole. That's kind
Really?
of
Yes,
Hey, that sounds
yes,
good.
yes, yes,
But look, I use cornbread.
That's very similar,
I do
by
not
the way.
like bread stuffing, bruh. It's got to be.
No. I don't like. I don't do a lot of
I use
bread.
cornbread. I use cornbread.
Yes,
Let me get it
cornbread. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Man, I was
but the
worried about y'all
seasoning,
for a
the
minute.
seasoning
Y'all
of the sausage
No.
and the ground beef and everything else that goes in there, if you taste it, it would remind you of a tamal. And I hadn't really thought about that until you mentioned the mofongo, and I was going,
Wait a minute.
you know what?
Carne molido.
Huh?
You put the carne molido like
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
stuffing.
Carne molida in the stuffing. I did that too.
what?
Yeah, sausage.
Yep.
See, I use sausage meat like
That me too.
or
We do
chorizo.
too.
I did chorizo before.
Aquafunk. What is that sausage que es con sangre? De cerdo?
Longaniza.
No. Come on.
It's
blood
called
pudding, black pudding.
Chorizo. No.
That's what Guyana call it, black pudding, the blood sausage.
Right, black pudding.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's black
that's it. Yeah,
pudding.
blood sauce.
It's
But
the
in
same
Spanish,
thing.
we have a name for it.
What the hell is that?
Oh, come on.
Moringa.
Babe,
I'm about to do the same
what's that blood
thing.
sausage called in Spanish again? How we call it?
Hold on, let me
Morcilla.
see.
Morcilla.
Morcilla.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
about to say, I was about to ask.
Oh, I love
Let
morcilla.
me
You have
ask.
no idea. That's like if I can eat morcilla all year long, I'll be dead because I love that shit, and it's so good.
I can have it, but it's a strong flavor for me. So
Everybody that
Whoa.
used to make that in my
But
family
have
is
you
dead.
had it?
Like
have
old
you
people
had
make
it?
that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's like instead of the Americanized sausage, if you have morcilla, just a little bit, not a lot, because it is. I mean, that thing could kill you. But I mean, it's just so good. It's just so good.
it's a strong flavor. I can have it, but there's a time where I'm like, all right, I can't have no more.
Yeah.
Does it have an
crazy
iron
about that?
taste to it?
Say it again, Maxie.
Does it have an iron taste to it because of the blood?
I can taste it. I can taste it. I can.
I don't know if you've ever made it, Aquafunk. I have.
I never made it.
The blood. And you take the intestines, you clean them out, all that stuff. We used to kill swines in Puerto Rico, take the intestines out, and then fill them with the rice. It has rice, blood, spices, and stuff in it, and you seal it up and like freeze those mothers or or do whatever you have to. We used to cook them right there. We used to make them, let them sit for I don't know, an hour, and then just throw them in the fryer. And we used to chow down on that crap like
There's a place right up.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
There's a little cuchi frito right up the street that makes that stuff. It's just like I said, I can taste the irony, and after a while, I got to stop.
The cultures all do the same thing.
Yeah.
We
do.
Because I'm telling you, everybody in my family that used to make that is dead. It's just all it is like literally they cook the blood, mix it with rice and spices, slap it in a casing, and you eat it. It's yeah. Like you don't if they didn't tell you, you would think it was some kind of weird meat inside for real inside of it. Like a Buddha like that too. It's a culture. The Filipinos even have a version of it because the Spanish took over the Filipinos. They eat, I think what it's called, dinaguang or something like that. Don't misquote me, but then they eat it. But
but what es la morcilla, lo que es el mofongo, what I call pasteles, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks for Christmas.
I can't eat pasteles.
I have this thing, I have a lot of Mexican students and Guatemalan students at the school, and I already told them. I said this. I said, George, I mean, not George. I'm talking to George in particular. I said, one of my favorite foods of all time is tamales. If your mama makes tamales, you put me on that list for tamales. I will eat tamales for all this time. I love
Yeah.
corn. Oh my god, I love tamales. Love tamales. Had nothing to do with the culture. Just the fact that they look like pasteles and they sort of are like really, really good. They're super, super good. But
I used to work, and this I can't really mess with Mexicans and Dominicans because they be eating breakfasts that is most people's dinners. I used to like for real, like I can't do
He
it.
ain't
for
even
real,
lying, bro.
for real.
I used
Mangú
to,
con salami and huevo.
I can't do it. It's like this dude I used to work with, right? And he was undocumented. The only reason why I
Arroz con
worked with him,
huevo.
he was that he was an
Yeah,
expert at what he did. He was an expert at what he did. He was undocumented, but they needed somebody with a license to get to the spot. So that's what I got the job because I was a citizen, and he would bring breakfast, and I'm like, bro, I can't eat that. I ain't working. Like I cannot eat that for breakfast, man. I'm just done. Like it's just heavy, just like I don't want.
Love it.
Mexicans and Dominicans, they eat heavy breakfasts. I can't do it.
What?
Can't do it.
Wait. Aquafunk. What is that? That Dominican dish that is sort of like a paste with plantains.
You ask,
See, maybe you know what it is.
Steve.
Mangú.
Steve,
Mangú.
What?
Mangú.
Mango.
Mm-hmm.
Mango.
It's
Oh my
breakfast.
God.
It's mangú con salami
Mango for
frita,
breakfast.
queso
Yep.
frita y también un huevo si hay.
yeah.
O huevo con arroz también. Look, you can go to the McDonald's in Santiago or Santo Domingo.
Been there, done
Y
that.
ella
You're
está-
right.
Mira, mangú con, look, everybody talking about the McGriddle.
Everywhere.
My ass a McGriddle. You getting mangú, some
Yep.
sausage, and a fried egg, un huevo frito. Yeah,
Yep.
bro. At
I've
the
been in Santo
McDonald's,
Domingo
bro.
several times, 20
I
times.
was like,
think.
hell, bro.
That's
Hey,
it. They don't got no
gotta
hash
love it.
browns. They got
Nah.
mangumo, folks.
Mango.
Mangumo,
Just-
folks. Yep.
Think
Like
about,
the girl
chorizo
at the
con
counter, she'll
papas
be
and
like,
huevo,
oye, cariño, espérate, porque hay algo más fresca. Basically,
Yeah.
wait a minute, we got some fresh coming up. I'm like, I ain't even eating this shit for breakfast, but I had to try it. It'll look. I'm gonna put it to
I
you
need a
how
nap.
culture. I say love will find a way. Like that's my catch-all disclaimer for everything. Love will find a
100%.
way. You eat that. You and drink some cafe dominicano, you're
Yep.
gonna be able to go cut sugar cane all day. I promise you. And pick tobacco and ride up a mountain carrying a baby on a fucking scooter in one arm with a stroller in
And
the
give
other
birth
arm.
and go right back
Yeah.
to work.
While
Exactly.
you on the phone with a hoodie on and some rubber
Yep.
boots.
Yep. No joke. No joke.
Yeah.
But it is the culture.
It
is
is.
the culture.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Funk. Your turn. What
Yeah.
did you do
Oh.
yesterday?
Honestly, we just ate at home. To be 100% with you, I'm not a big Thanksgiving. I'm not big on Thanksgiving. Easter and Thanksgiving, I've just never been really big on. My holiday of choice, my favorite holiday is New Year's. That's when I like, hey, don't expect me to drive nowhere. You know, I'm gonna be act up because normally from October 1st, hey, everybody's leaving. From
I know.
October
I'm
1st,
here. I'm just doing
yeah.
something real quick.
from October 1st to the end of the year after Christmas is just busy. Money. Gotta go here, gotta go there, gotta pay for this, and New Year's is like, yo, it's over. I now I'm chill. So New Year's is my holiday. But Thanksgiving, I never been big on it. It's just you go somewhere, you dress up, you eat, and you put more on your plate than you can eat, and then you just sit there just feeling like a slob, trying to think about, dang, I just want to go home. You know what I mean? That's all you think. I'm ready to go home.
I agree.
So it's not very enjoyable for me, to be honest with you.
I
But
agree.
my old lady does cook well, and I mean, so yeah, everything was good. I ate more turkey today. This is my third day in a row turkey.
Yeah, I just made turkey soup
Yeah,
with the leftovers. I think that's all the rest of the bread.
yeah. Now we still got more. We still got more. I'm like, so yeah.
So you, Steve, what did you do?
Same.
Same what?
Food, everything Funk said, man.
Yeah.
How was your
The
dinner, though?
family. Dinner was good, man. We had bird. I did a ham. Mac. I picked some of the greens I grew. I told you. Remember I told you I was bitching that I started my garden too late because I haven't lived in Texas for like 20 years and I forgot you can grow food year round here. So I was trying to like squeeze out a late summer crop and a fall winter crop. So I got like a whole trash bag full of greens. So I did those. We did macaroni and we did turkey. We did ham. You know, the spread, talk smack, try to figure out a way to leave. You know what I'm saying? I quitting drinking. I went and wasted money on one of them. What's this? Now they got seltzer water, right? And it's got liquor in it apparently. So it was like a White Claw. It was supposed to be mango flavor. So like seltzer water because I like carbonated water. And I ended up pouring it in the sink. It was nasty. So,
I just recently got into that when I was doing the keto diet.
That's what I call myself, trying to drink them.
All that stuff reminds me of Zima. Remember Zima back in the day? That's what it all reminds me of. Zima.
Yep. My little brother done messed around and got caught with his dumbass friend stealing Zima from HEB when we was kids.
Yeah. But
so
you know what?
Criminal in the family.
Zima was funny because when it first came out, all the youngsters would
remember.
Everybody would drink it and forget that it's alcohol. Yeah. And it just hit you, bang, like that.
That wasn't the one for us.
But we put Jolly Ranchers.
Eyes. Remember the St. Ides special brew?
That's beer though. That was malt liquor.
No, but he had the special brew, and it was to kids. See, we were in high school when it came out. It came out in like 92, 93, and it was the flavor. They had blue, pink, and I think red.
That was the flavors. Blue, pink, and red was the flavors.
Yes, that was the flavors, bruh. Blue, pink, and red. And it was malt liquor. But
the one that was
juice.
Did us in was Cisco. I don't know if that was up there.
That's what I was about to say. It was a step up from Cisco and Mad Dog 2020.
Boy.
Only time I ever spit out liquor was some of that green. You remember that green strawberry kiwi Mad Dog 2020? It looked like
Never messed with Mad Dog.
Oh man, for me it's great. I still if I smell grape Mad Dog 2020, because that was
J category.
I remember I got tore up. We was in my backyard, and we was all in a tent. For some reason, my parents thought it was a good idea to let us all camp out in the backyard. We had every kid in the neighborhood, and we went to 7-Eleven, shoulder tap. Hey, we had $20. We got Boone's Farm, Mad Dog 2020, Mad Dog 2020, and Natty Light, and that's what we had. Oh, and somebody brought a bottle of Wild Turkey, and I just drank it. I just drank it. And I don't know how my parents did. When I woke up, my head was outside the tent in a puddle of purple vomit. And here's the worst part: everybody had left the tent, so that means they woke up and walked over me, and did not wake me up and left me there.
That happened to me, bro. We had made some jungle juice, and the homie had some lightning, and we done fucked around and mixed some lightning with some Kool-Aid, bro. That was our jungle juice, just the lightning, and then Pops had the Crown Royal bottle, right? When you turn it upside down, it light up. You know what I'm saying? So we just hit it. We gonna be badasses today, bruh. I was hitting it. I was drinking out there a bit. I've been a jackass. And the homie said I turned white as a ghost, and I exorcist vomited red shit from the den all the way to the bathroom, and I was in that slump. And they said I looked like this jug right here, like this color white. For real, bruh. And I got cussed out. Does
everybody know what jungle juice is?
It's not racist, bro. You can say it's jungle juice, bro. You put all kind of shit in shit.
We had when I was in the army in Germany, we'd have barracks party, and we'd get a trash can. We'll get a trash can and we fill it with ice and juice, and whoever comes, bloop, 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 whatever you have in your barracks room, bloop, 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 and it tasted good. It tasted so good.
It tastes good, bro.
Juicy, fruity. Hey.
That's where Long Island iced tea came from, by the way.
It ain't worth it.
It's a whole throw it in.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. I can't. You know what? Speaking of so we on this topic and stuff. So I'm gonna tell you a sea story. I have a weird tradition, right? We pull into Greece, right? And we had just got through with the Syria campaign. We got the chemical weapons out of Syria the first time. We pull into Greece, and I'm at this hotel. Me and the homies done went party, and we coming back to the room. I go. Everybody had their own room. So on the way back, it's Europe. You can buy booze anywhere. They got the little kiosk on the side of the road. So I get this thing of
I'll be
wine.
back.
All right. I got this thing of wine. And me being a man, I'm like, oh shit, this ain't but like €3. So that's like $6. I'm like, it's cheap. I get the thing of wine. It's a plastic bottle. It's a novelty. It's cool. So I get we've already shit house. We was drinking Uso. And the Mediterranean equivalent of moonshine is called Rocky. All right. It's like a distilled spirit. It's really strong. And everybody got it. And you ask them for it, and they'll like pull out like a Coke bottle. They're all proud, like, you want? And then like, hold on, they look and they like, and they take a shot with you. Mucho gusto. That's how it is. And we wasted. Everybody slaughtered. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm in Greece. I'm gonna baptize myself with this Greek wine. So I get in the bathtub and I pour this wine all over myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a god now. I'm spazzing out. Next day, we get extended. We were supposed to go home. Like Greece was our last stop on a like 7-month deployment, right? And we celebrated. I'm like, yeah. So I done turned around and pissed off the gods because we get this message. We got to haul ass to Libya because these pirates done hijacked this oil tanker. And long story short, go over there and clean it up. So I guess I pissed off the gods that way by like baptizing myself in that cheap ass Greek wine. But the hangover from the jungle juice is what made me remember that story because I felt like
your head, right?
Yes,
but Greek wine is friggin' awesome, by the way.
Yes, it is, and their coffee's amazing too.
It's cheap and it is good. I mean, I don't know who was squishing those grapes, but they are.
They got something. It's something on their skin. I think it's their microfauna or something. It does something to the wine. Yep. But the coffee's good too. Have you had Greek coffee?
I've been to Greece. Yes.
Yes, their coffee's amazing.
Everything. I mean,
I like Greece too. Where'd you go?
I think I was in when I studied at Westminster in England, and I was there at the Shakespeare show. And then I had 6 weeks before I had to come back to the States, and I traveled Europe. I went down south. I went down Italy, Greece, all that area. Then went back up, went to Paris, and then went back to England, and then came home, backpacking it on the train.
That was sweet.
So when I was in Greece, it was 7 of us that were at college, and we just literally hit everything. And I wasn't a wine drinker until I hit Italy. When I hit Italy, wine. Then I went to Greece, wine. Then I went to France, wine. And Greece wine beat them all out. I don't know what it was. Yeah. It was just a better wine. But maybe because I do like the sweetness of the Greece wine over the other two. But it was still really, really great. Yeah.
Can I ask you something, Eduardo? For real. Can I ask you something? Because you was in Greece, right? Yeah. This is me. Like, you can say I lived there because I was there for a hot minute. I've been there a bunch of times. And what I noticed about Greek people is Greek people remind me of us, bro.
Yes.
They act like more
very
animals.
Much so.
They loud. Yep. They love their pork. They love to eat. They love to party. They all about family. They in everybody's business. Family. They love drama. They love to gossip, and they will beat your ass. You better not piss them off. The only people I've seen this crazy is Greek people and Albanians. That's the two people you don't piss off over there. The Albanians, don't fuck with the Albanians, and you leave the Greek people alone. They will stay. Yep. They will cut you. They will cut you.
But the good thing about I was
lovely
there,
people for real.
They are lovely culture, excellent, beautiful culture, very similar. Oh, and by the way, I wasn't a gringo when I was there. I spoke only Spanish. So that they treat me like a gringo. Right. So, and I don't mean gringo like in a bad negative way. I just wasn't I didn't speak English. I spoke Spanish, only Spanish. Why? Because I was told when you go down to these countries, you talk like an accent, You put that accent on so that they treat you. I got free food, free drinks, got laid.
Yep.
I mean, I got everything
Look,
because I didn't speak
I,
English.
I do look. My one of my buddies, Eric. I'm gonna send him a clip of this. He'll be like, "Damn it, Steve, you and your freaking languages, always getting free stuff, always getting
Yep.
other bitches." Look, bro, I'll be
Yep.
like, "Escaristo" in a minute, bro. I don't
Take
care.
a minute.
I don't
Drop it.
care. That means thank
Yep.
you in Greek. Like I do not care. Like you gotta look, and you know what the girls like? If you just trying to act like you want to learn the language, oh, they gonna help you.
Yep.
They gonna help you. Every
Yep.
language I
They will.
learned is because of a
They
woman.
will suck your blood out. Literally. Param pam.
They will help
They
you.
will suck
I'm
you.
sitting
They will
over
suck
here
your Spanish
like
just to
the only
teach you
thing the only
whatever
thing I
language they
was
want to
waiting
teach.
on was somebody to feed me grapes. It was fucking amazing. I'm trying to tell you, it was one of them big ass ostrich feathers. I'm gonna pay for that. I'm gonna pay for that. I'm gonna
Yep.
pay for that. There's got to be somebody that does that. You know how they got those safe rooms you got to get out of? There's
Yeah.
got to
Yep.
be somewhere where you can go pay to eat grapes and get family, like a birthday present or something. Nothing
Yeah.
crazy. I love my
Like that.
wife,
Uh-huh.
but hey, you only live once. I'm not gonna have her do it. We could both get it done to each other together. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah.
Ah, catch the massage.
She has the male goddess and you'll have the female goddess. There you go.
No, we'll have
Fanning
two
each other
two
away
female
and feeding
goddesses
you weight.
for polarity. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah. No, the
Yeah,
thing is
I
that
wanna do like
the
a
one thing
ball
about
effigy
we're
because
talking
I'm a
about
bull.
our holiday Christmas, right? Or our holiday celebration. When you go to other countries, and it doesn't have to be a holiday, it's like you're there and you're the holiday for being there, so they treat you
He
like
ain't
the
lying.
holiday.
He ain't
That's
lying.
it's like that's just the way it was. Um, I mean, I'm going back to 1991, 1991. No, 92. Summer of 92. It was summer of 92
I
because
just
it was
there
the
in
year before I
2014.
graduated.
It's the same way. It's
Yep.
still the same.
And it was like it was the best period. It was the best. Then after I graduated, I did the tour around America. It was three of us that were in Europe, and then four of us more, seven total, eight total, that went on a van all across America. We were doing that for like a month. We didn't go to Hawaii, we didn't go to Alaska, but I've been to Alaska and I've been to Hawaii. So I was like, I hit all of the states. The only place I've never hit or ever gone to was Guam, which is also a U.S.
Right.
property, but that's the only one. But one of the girls, she was from Guam, so she was like, "Next time we got to go to South
Tomorrow's is cool,
America."
man. They
And I'm
party.
like, never made South America that great, but I still and made it to Mexico. I made it to Mexico.
Did
It
you
was
go to
awesome.
Turkey? Did you go to Istanbul? Did you go to Turkey?
I've been to Turkey.
Turkey, dope.
I did not make it to Turkey because something broke out during the time in 1992. Something
Mhm.
happened there. I'm not 100%
They
sure.
always, it's always.
And we were
something
like
popping off.
diverted. We
Yeah.
were like, okay, we're gonna go that way. But I wanted to go to Mesopotamia, to that area because it was all there. Literally, it was all right
You
there.
right. You went pre-Gulf War. You would have
That's
got to
right.
see it.
Yep. Then
Don't get me started.
you also married. Anyway, but my trip. Literally was eye opening. It opened the avenue for acceptance of every culture, not just one or two,
Yeah.
all of them. Because here I am, poor Puerto Rican, on student loan and a grant, and I went to Europe. How many of us can say that we're not in the military, you know? And I literally took half my loan and just spent it on that trip for that year. It was the
Mhm.
summer of 92. Now I remember. I'm still paying for that student debt. But it's still that still that joy of experiencing it and turning 30 after graduation. And I was like, wow, my whole life was like what we are in a box. We talk
Mhm.
about keeping fish in a box.
Mhm.
How many of us have lived in a fucking box all our lives? If we don't break this wall and go out, we're morons. The world is not just where we're at. Everything around us, is really what's important. And
Hmm.
like I said, holiday food, different cultures. It is not. I get to do the culture food because people ask me, "You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this because it's so good or it's so that." Like that's my charity work for friends and family, and then I'm out of there, and I want to do everything else. I You were talking about Albanians. My first
Mm-hmm.
landlord was Albanian, and I'm talking about when I was
They
15
good
years
people,
old.
man.
15 years old, Steve. He was Albanian, and his wife and his like 7, 8 daughters that lived in the house. And they lived downstairs. I lived in the third floor. Man, I didn't have to cook. I didn't have to. They fed me. They fed me. They knew I
Yep.
was studying. They knew I was working. I
Yep.
would come late. There was a plate right on the table. There's a little foyer that, with my name on it. It was for you.
Mm-hmm.
They fed all the other 2 people that lived upstairs, well, the single men that were there. I didn't. Literally 13 years I lived in that house. 13 years. It
Dang.
was like the best. The best.
You know what? That's crazy. You bring. Look, I'm finna ask all three of y'all this because we talking about family and the holidays. And check this out. Look how you set that up. Family, right? The concept of family.
Yep.
And so you a teacher, George, you a veteran. You teach. Funk, you a veteran. Talking about holidays, and we was kind of talking about this earlier. Me and Jorge. My last 5 or so years in the military, I worked with the Wounded Warriors. It was a cool tour, and it was very eye opening. We have a uptick, so like there's a season. So from starting in Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, culminating in Valentine's Day, believe it or not. And we got a lot of people hurting themselves. And it's sad because we get so wrapped up in cooking dinner, making all these bomb recipes and Black Friday and how much money it's going to cost. And like what you said, George, like your family was even able to integrate a whole new tradition just to make it convenient, you know? And I'm thinking about that. Like, it was a lot of times where, like the Albanian people did you, I had other people holding me down, bring it like, hey man, what you gonna do for Thanksgiving? I don't know. Houston is kind of far. I ain't got no money for no plane ticket and I ain't driving. Well, come over here with us, or vice versa. And it's a trip now because this is my first real Thanksgiving home with my blood relative. So the dynamic was kind of weird, you know. But what do you guys do to kind of combat those feelings of depression? Like for me, right? I think about people that ain't here no more. And then like it's a tender topic, the holidays, because it remind you of people that, passed away or what we used to do. And you know what I'm saying?
Well, and it's even weirder than that because for ever since I can remember, it always seems that during the holidays you seem to have you lose people because either
Yeah.
accidents or illness, and for some reason it always happens during this period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you get into that situation where you're supposed to be having a joyous time of the year, where it quickly turns into something pretty somber.
Yeah.
And that was part of that conversation that we were having. That we need to remember that to take the time, especially if we call ourselves a community,
Mm-hmm.
because I really do like to believe that we are a community.
Oh,
And
we definitely are. We definitely are.
Yeah.
to keep an ear out for our fellow fish keepers, that you know, just if you haven't seen somebody for a little while, send them a little message. Hey, how's things going? Just kind of checking in on your own people, just to make sure that everybody's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing by doing a simple gesture like that, the response that you will get from people you don't even expect it, because they'll be
It's so
like,
true.
"Oh my God, you just
true.
caught me at a moment where I needed to talk to
Need it
somebody."
the
That just
most.
happened to
That's
me
right.
recently.
Yeah.
It just happened to me not too long ago, and the weirdest thing, it's not somebody that I talk to on a regular basis, but it
Mm-hmm.
is somebody that, because of this hobby we have a commonality, that it allowed me to see that they had communicated something where they were trying to find somebody to talk to. And I just sent a quick message just to see how they were doing. And it turned into this conversation that we carried on for an hour because they had just lost
Mm-hmm.
somebody very important to them and they needed to talk to somebody. And it's so crazy. And it's not somebody that, you know what? I wouldn't even say that we're friends because we've never really had an interchange, even something like this. But just because on social media we kind of follow each other, it
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to say, hey, you know what? It's weird that somebody's asking for somebody to talk to. Something must be happening. And just taking that little bit of time really helped that person in that moment. And it's nice to do it because we never know when we might be on that opposite end of it. And where we might be needing somebody to be able to be there for us, to be able to just listen. Not so much to try to solve our problems, because half the time what we need is just to offload what is eating us and consuming us, and to be able to have somebody just to be able to say it. And sometimes, believe it or not, at least for me, it has always been easier to offload on somebody that I really don't know than a family member, because you're
Well,
always worried that the family member is going to judge you
Boom.
after it's all
There you
said
correct.
and
go.
done.
That's it. That's it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, funny thing you mentioned that just that happened to you recently. This happened to us yesterday. Um, I said we were talking, and I was having issues with the uploading stuff, and I sent a text, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Oh," he sent me a picture. He was in the hospital. He's been pretty bad for a few days, hadn't been eating, and boom, ended up in hospital. And we, everybody on this panel and in chat knows who I'm talking about. You don't know why. I'm not going to mention his name, but we know him from the Fish Fam. Anyway, and literally, I was like, if you need anything, da 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 da, you make sure. I did mention it on Foxy's. I talked to, I said it, not talked to him, but I texted it on Foxy's Oxalato stream. You know, send prayers and all that stuff to him. But the thing is, what you just said, I'd rather talk to a stranger than to family member because they're going to judge. Number one, why do you think we go to therapy with psychiatrists and psychologists that we don't know? Because it's better to
Hmm.
dump everything on them and walk away.
Right.
Because one of the things I happen to have that, I don't know que carajo, but people
Hmm.
just like, Eduardo, you got a minute, turns into
Like a
hours.
magnet.
Anyway, madness. And it's at work. It's at work. It's here. It's everywhere in my life. They just need to dump. And the happy thing about me is that, I was trained to bathe myself in like all this Vaseline. Bañate con vaselina porque todo va a resbalar. So it does. I don't take it in.
Nothing
So it
sticks.
just slips away. And then as
Mm-hmm.
soon as it is done, it doesn't. It does. I don't allow it to affect me in any way other than to be able to help that person out. I don't
Right.
know. Maybe it's the teaching thing in me, the educational part of me. But the wonderful thing about what having a community that, oh my God, weren't we on the phone just the other day, George, about an orchid that what? And we were on the phone literally for a few hours talking about orchid stuff, nothing about anything else, just orchid stuff. And literally, you have no idea who you can reach out to, and all of a sudden you have it done. It's there. It's like it's a conversation, and I don't know. It's just it comes natural. It comes natural, and there's a lot of us that once we see that coming at you, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not the right person, and it's like, let me get you someone who is. But there's a lot especially in our Spanish culture, our Latin culture, that you don't talk about your stuff to other people.
Nope.
You know, te está pasando, cállate la boca.
Mm-hmm.
Sufre lo que tienes que sufrir y vive tu vida. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Cuídate tu propio
no,
asunto.
bitch, that ain't gonna happen. You causing me my pain, I'm letting you know what my pain is. And that happened with the most immediate person in my family, which was my mother. So, and when I got out of that, it just everything. It's no longer a little pebble in the top of the mountain becoming a boulder as you come down. It's like it's a boulder up there. And by the time it comes down, here's a grain of sand. Boop, that problem solved. Move on. That's the way I look at it. It's I have this saying at work. I got a Puerto Rican teacher who I happen to be the her secret Santa this year, which I was really happy that I picked her. I didn't know, but anyway. And I said, "Oh my God, it's Monday. We got that." I was like, "You need to start doing the following. It's Monday, the first day of the end of the week. Your mentality is positive, and by the time you get to it, it's friggin' Friday." And you're like, "How the heck did we get here?" So she tried it. Guess what? She saw it. She felt it. You don't think that negative thoughts you walk into. I love what I do for a living. Number one. Um, but the fact that I walk in a positive mentality for my students who are coming with, you don't know what baggage they're coming in with, and they're there. You got to enjoy the process of our lives. Like you said, Steve, we're only here this lifetime. We don't know what's going to happen next time. You know, and military. There's George. Are you military as well?
Yeah.
So there's three vets on the stream. I'm not a vet. I wanted to, but I wanted to go into the Air Force and stuff, but I had flat feet. They let me in because I have flat feet. I don't know, but I'm probably older than all three of you put together
I
on
know
that left
exactly
leg.
what you're talking about, but I'm going to reserve comment because it's kind of a hot ticket item right now in politics.
Oh,
But
really? I had no idea.
yeah, not
Yeah.
the flat feet, but the reasoning behind the science. It came from eugenics, where they were just classifying people. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Because
Yes.
I'm gonna overshare a little bit. I have that. It's called hyperpronation. It's flat-footedness, and it is a myth. Um, I did just fine. I did just fine.
Yeah, I had an NCO in the
You know,
infantry that would have flat feet, and he
and
was
I mean, and I have a severe case to where they were gonna have to give me surgery. I've had two surgeries, and it like one of the doctors schooled me on it. It's a bad myth, and it was just bad science
yeah.
at that
At the
time.
time, back at the
Yes,
time,
at
what they
that
didn't
time.
know. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate because I'm not gonna lie, I was intimidated to go try to join, and I mean I joined during they was taking anybody. It was 9/11 time, it was in the
Oh
early
yeah.
2000, and the doctor looked because I was like he was like, oh, you flat footed, and I was just waiting for him to say go home.
Right.
Nah, no, so yeah, that's exactly what it was.
And I mean, I still was in the Newark airport working with the space shuttle
Oh,
way back
cool.
when. Yeah.
Lakehurst is
I
up
knew.
there.
Yeah, I was like, well, I was at NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, back in the day, summer schooling,
NJ.
and
Yeah.
the whole thing. It was all legit. I wanted to, and then when they said you can't because your feet are flat, I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm on my feet every friggin' day. I mean, I sold damn shoes at Kitty Shoes for 4 years on my friggin' feet. Every day I used to work 12, 13-hour shifts. I was the manager. I mean, I was the assistant and I was the manager. I'm fuck this shit. They're my flat feet.
That's the
But
saying. They say flat-footed people are lazy or something like that.
no,
That's
that
not.
ain't true
Yeah,
on
that's
my
not
boat.
true. Yeah, that's
Not true, not at all.
yeah.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I would put my flat foot up somebody's ass. So if somebody wants to try that, I mean,
Yeah, no, yeah.
go for it.
Yeah,
So
that.
and then they can tell me, oh look, flat feet people. Yeah, it hurt. Crack your ass open with my flat foot, mofo.
So nobody. Let me ask y'all something, because we talking about it. We might as well talk about it. It's the holidays,
Right.
so I'm on Instagram, and two things. First thing, is it just me, or do you fellas notice the influx of all these self-proclaimed self-help gurus on Instagram with all these goddamn wise aspirations and sayings and shit? And so
Uh
I'm
huh.
sitting up in here and I'm struggling with my demons. I'm battling with my four letters, the PT ones. And I'm sitting up here and I'm thinking, all the smart shit never gets posted because you hurt too bad. All the painful stuff, like all these things that pop into my head, I don't have the energy to post it. And then it's like, What about the people that's like really alone, like for real
Real
alone?
All
alone.
right, so
So,
hold up,
Real.
wait.
like, you know what I'm saying?
I've I know a couple people that on Facebook, Instagram, and Facebook. I mean, YouTube that do those inspirational phrases and stuff like that. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily think, and the truth of it, because I know them personally, and I don't necessarily think that they are trying to give you a message to help you out. I feel like
Right.
it's they're saying it
That's what
for
I'm
themselves.
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I
I
can
don't
dig
really,
it. You
but it
know,
comes
I
out like they're
agree.
trying to teach me something. No, I think it's for you, brother. You
No,
know what I
see,
mean?
I see
Yeah,
that. That's all
yeah,
I see is,
yeah,
motherfucker, you saying that for you.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
They
that's the pain, you talking out loud, thinking out
yeah,
loud, if you will. And
yeah.
then it's like you
Projecting.
alone.
They
Right.
projecting.
Because,
Yeah.
like, loneliness, right? I want to talk about loneliness. Like, fish tanks. I have so many, all my fish tanks is because of that, right? So, like, right now, I got an empty house. It's just me and my son. You know, like TMI, I've been like away from my wife for like, I don't know, a hot minute because of politics. La migra. So I have to go visit her. So it's just me. And it sucks. I got my like aunties and stuff here, and I go rock with them every once in a while. But for the most part, I just look at tanks or talk to the homies, whatever, social media. You know what I'm saying? And people always asking me, bro, how do you do that? How do you do that? And you know what I tell them? I'm institutionalized. I treat it like a deployment because I'm used to it.
Yep.
I'm so used to it. And so we sitting up here talking about going to counseling and dumping stuff off on people. And, and then I ask myself this question: how in the hell do you overshare? Right? And it's because I have to remember we all have different information biases. And I just automatically assume that people on my frequency and they know what I know. And I'll be like, boy, you don't know that. Like that. And so with my information bias, I'm looking at it like it's implicit with me of how in the hell do you expect me to take you seriously when you bullshit me from the inception of our interaction? You know what I'm saying? And then people will be like, well, Steve, you so brutally honest. I'm like, well, that's an oxymoron, my love, because there's no such thing as being brutally honest. There's only what's true and what's not true. You know what I'm saying? They got that bullshit saying that there's three sides to every story, your truth, their truth, and then the true story's in the middle or whatever. Like, no, it's what's true and what's untrue. So, like, the way I look at it is, how many people in the fish fam do you think like suffer from true loneliness? And then it's like indicative because I always do jokingly say, if you have more than one aquarium in your house on purpose, something wrong with you. And it's not
Not
in the
me.
sense of bad. Exactly. I'm the normalest person I know. You feel me?
I don't
Exactly.
got no problem with my
So, but
multi-tank
it's like,
addiction. I don't give a shit.
where them demons at? Not and like, does it have to be a demon, or is it like a trauma or something that people trying to overcompensate with? Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Because like the holidays bring that up in people every year.
Well,
Hmm.
one thing for sure, this year,
Mm-hmm.
um, in January 11th, I lost my younger brother to the malware. And
Yep.
then in June, we buried his best friend, who's my best friend's brother. They were best friends when they were elementary. So they both died the same year, both very much younger than us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and who who my best friend is dealing with and who I'm dealing with, it's nothing, not, I'm not burning up or breaking down or anything like that, but my sister is. She
Mm-hmm.
was closest to him the most.
Right.
And then she was, and the wife that was now is a widow. And so my best friend is her support. And then I'm her support because she is really not that kind of
Yeah.
person that can take all the stuff that's coming from the other lady. But all of that is about you pour it on me. And she lives 3 minutes away from me, literally. The
Mm-hmm.
widow lives 3 minutes away. So I befriended her. So now she can come this way.
Right, right, right.
Dump it all on me because I'm not going to take it, where it would affect my life, but it was affecting my other friend's life. So, and we've known each other for over 40 years, since 8th grade. You go figure that one
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, holidays, like George was saying, and it's sort of like, I don't celebrate the holidays as someone that passed away as negative. It's more like, well, here you go. You didn't spend no money this Christmas, or something to the effect of, yeah, I remember when he was this and did that, and my younger brother was a New Yorker, and
Mm-hmm.
he lived 99%, 98% of his life in New York, and he died in New York. Um, so he lived his life. He was a happy-go-lucky guy. That's what he did. Where the one that passed away in June was a Marine. Is a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was now, but was a Marine, and he lived his life traveling across the world. And again, each one has their own baggage, and when I mean baggage, I don't mean that in a negative sense. I'm talking
Yeah.
about a lot of joy is in that baggage again, and I look for the positiveness of that baggage, not the negative. Oh, he did this or he did. I could give a flying f about what they did that was wrong. I care about what they did that was right. I do this to my students every day. You've probably seen a video or something like that, but I'll go and I'll add 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. La la la, all the way to 9, and then I leave it on the board. And then I was like, okay, and I'll start giving. I teach English as a second language, by the way. Okay, I don't teach math. So they'll look at it. What's the first thing they do? What's the first thing they do? 1 plus 1 ain't 4. They
Mm-hmm.
look at the negative. Tell me something. How many of you were raised by looking on the positive? There's 9 correct additions there and just one mistake, but everybody focuses on the one mistake. What
Mm-hmm.
about the 9 things that was done right in your life? I don't know. I'll throw that out there. You know, you're all fathers, so what? When you got kids, some are older than Jesus in George's case, but
Mm-hmm.
we got to look at it. We got to look at it from the point of view where we got to look at the positive aspect of it. You know, my aunt was a New Yorker, positive woman. She was cleaning buildings for 50, 60 years of her life in New York City. She made her
Mm-hmm.
money. She made her money. When she retired, she didn't give a flying F about anyone or anything. She did her. You know where she
Mm-hmm.
spent it? At a casino.
At the
And everybody, all
casino.
they did was talk about, oh, she's blowing her money in the casino. And all I can say is, it's her
It's
money.
hers.
It's
Thank
her
you.
money. She worked
That's
for it.
funny.
She can do whatever the hell
Duh.
she wants with it. And again, the positive aspect of how you look at things. Aqua, you tell me. You have a little girl, right? I think it's a
I
little
have
girl.
two.
Too.
Two?
Oof.
Oh, okay. I think I've only seen the one. So
Mm.
where do they? How do you feel about being the dad that says, not that you are, I'm saying, but you look at the negative, don't do this or don't do that, do this, or you know, that's not the right way to go. This is the right way to go,
Eh,
or take your own turn and whatever happens, I'll be here for you. Which
See
one? Which
that
one do you do?
here's the thing with my life and being a father is you. I know some of y'all going. You almost for me, it's like I gotta live a lie. All right, I don't want my daughters to grow up like I did, knowing the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I knew, having to do the stuff that I do. So what I show my daughters is not my truth. You know what I mean? I show them a candy coated side of the world that I know I've never been a part of, but I'm trying to make that a part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the holidays goes and stress and any of that stuff, it's all I'm there for them. It's lollipops and rainbows. But like for me, I can't really say that I'm telling them from experience. I'm telling them from hope that they're not gonna find out what I had to find out. So it's difficult, man. yeah, I try to teach them the positive, but at the same time, I have to prepare them for the negative, that they're going to be able to stand strong when people come at them, because they are. The people's going to come at them. So
24/7.
it's difficult, man. It's difficult, and to be honest with you, as a father of daughters, it scares the shit out of me. My son, not so much. My son, I try not to raise him like I was raised, but I know good and well, him being a male with the last name of Maldonado, regardless of what his skin color was, he was gonna catch hell. So I did. I raised him a little bit more rougher, a little bit made him have more of a tougher skin. So it's difficult. I'm with my daughters. I'm doing it a day at a time, man. And hoping I don't screw it up. To be honest with you, so I don't know. That's the only thing I got as far as that goes. But yeah, I don't know too many people alive that can go through what I go through or been through, and still be able to stand up. So
Say that again.
I don't know. I don't know. It's difficult. That's a difficult question to answer truthfully, because it may be one thing now, a
And it
week
changed
from now.
tomorrow. Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't
The
know.
thing is, the dynamics. Thank you for sharing. By the way, that's really awesome. The We all want to shelter our children, and my daughter's turning 40 next in
Mhm.
2 months. So, and I got 3 grandkids, 1 girl and 2 boys. But my son died when he was 19. He was diagnosed with leukemia in 16 and died at 19. So I dealing with that, and he was a hell of a lot tougher than my daughter ever would be. But yet my daughter is tougher than all 4 of us put together. Okay,
Mhm.
she's tough, and she was raised by the nana, and strong woman raising a strong young child. So she wasn't raised by her mom. So a lot of that you want to shelter her. I get it. That is, back at that time when she was a little girl, it was Cabbage Patch. I played Santa. I used to be 280 pounds. I was Santa. I was Cabbage Patch God, the god of the Cabbage Patch. And everything had to do with little tiny girl things. Nothing about the viciousness of life, the color of your skin, the ethnicity of your background, the sex that you chose to love. None of that was a stigma or became a stigma. And sheltering a female, or not sheltering, fathering a female from a distance was even worse than you having
Yeah,
them there,
yeah,
But anything she needed, call me. Anything, you just call me. And that was it. But going through my son's death and his process of death was devastating. Devastating. I was a vegetable for 2 years after. So that that kind of empathy that you're expressing right now is exactly what I understand the most.
mhm,
Is I want to protect them from this vicious world now, because they're kids, they're little
yeah,
kids. But you're gonna be doing the following later on. You're gonna be like, okay, wait a minute. Let me pull you over and let me tell you what this is about, and showing them a different picture of the prettiness. But right
yeah,
now, they're little girls.
yeah.
George, you said yours are already older than Jesus. So you got what, 17, 364 kids, all males?
No, I have
He populated Arizona. I'm not
I
sure.
have two males, two females,
2 and 4. All right, you got 4.
two.
Okay.
Yeah, four.
Who's
And
your oldest? Who's your youngest? Who's the
the
middle?
the oldest, he's the one that's in the Air Force. He turned. He's 89. He was born in 89. So what? 30, 33 or something like that.
31?
Yeah, 31.
31,
And then
33. Yeah,
after him is
33. Yeah.
his brother, who's a year, a year younger, and then
By the way,
then
those in chat, a year younger means 9 months after. But go ahead.
Hey, me and
something
me and
like
my
that.
me and my brother Irish twins too. So
And he was born 1990, and then 93 was Sharon, and then 99 was Sam. So they're all over 21 now.
Oh, okay. They're all legal, in other
Yeah,
words.
yeah. And then the two oldest are the ones that have given me grandkids, two each.
Right. Right. You got 3,472 grandkids, right?
Yeah, Yeah, I have enough to start our own little city out here in the southern desert of Arizona.
Well, that's what I said. You populate Arizona. And Steve, you only have one boy. Or you have more.
Oh no, I got five ranging from the
You were
baby
talking
just
shit about
turned.
Oh,
me.
wait!
The
I
baby
forgot.
just
He
turned.
Dominican.
Yeah, what the
He
hell? The baby just
Dominican. That's right.
turned
That's right.
8. We had a quinceañera this year. My
Right.
oldest is 19. He'll be 20 in a few months. I'm right there where Jay, where you at, man? Like,
Yep.
bro, scared is not the word. Like, you talk about culture, right? And like, you don't want to raise your kids the way you was raised.
Right.
Yeah.
So my sons, yeah, I'm harder on them, but it came to that point of living the lie, sheltering them versus changing. There was the part, right? So
Hmm.
like I'm telling my sons, right? I told them straight up, we ain't doing whoopings no more. And they were like, what? Yeah, right. No whoopings. And they tested it. Like the first year, I think was the hardest. And then now it's been forever. They don't do that. My son's 17 that lives with me. He's 17. So I'm talking to him, and it's like, do I shelter him or do I set him up for failure? Because me, as a man, as his father, I know that when he turns 18 in less than a year, he's going to have all these expectations thrust upon him unrequested. He's going to have the world is going to flip because now
Hmm.
he's a man. So I'm going to be honest. I'm about to be real raw. I sat my son down and I just had a talk with him that I wish somebody would have told me. I
Hmm.
told him straight up. I was like, look, son, this is what's about to happen. I got a Navy brat. He's shelter baby. This kid can build you a computer from soda tabs and duct tape. He's a genius. He's a STEM baby. But I told him straight up. I was like, look, you need to learn what autonomy is. I said, you about to be a man. I said, you ain't gonna get nobody to tell you that you will only be loved as much as you are productive, that you
Hmm.
will only be tolerated as much as you are valued. You will not have anybody along the way to say, hey, there you go, good job, thank you. Your wife and kids ain't going to come to you and say, hey, dad, thanks for waking up at 3:30 in the morning to go get cussed out and belittled before 8 o'clock. Thank you for
Oh yeah.
sitting in traffic. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for robbing Peter to pay Paul and doing it with a smile just to save face.
Yep.
Thank you for struggling at night by yourself, for being emotionally unavailable to us while we're a bunch of ungrateful bastards, but you get up and you do it. You make it work. I said,
Yep.
that's what you get to look forward to. And I said, if you complain, you won't be tolerated. You will be marginalized. If you don't do it, they will tell you to shut up. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps because you are a man. And then, after all that, they'll blame you for everything that goes wrong while expecting you to come up with the solution, fix it,
Hmm.
and pay for it because you are a man. So
Ajustate las
you're welcome.
bolas.
You're welcome. Exactly.
Ajustate las
Get
bolas,
ready.
porque esto es lo que
Exactly.
viene. Or in
It's
our
coming.
term, ajustate
Grab
los
your
cojones,
nuts.
porque esto es lo
Yeah,
que
grab
viene.
them because
Hmm.
they're coming. It's
It's coming.
due. And like, this is your honeymoon, son. You better eat as much cereal and soak up as much free air conditioner as you can. And it will
Yep.
behoove you to do to follow my footsteps. What I'm trying to show you. Because I told my son straight up, I said, let me tell you something, boy. I use profanity, but basically I said, a bitch can only show you what they've done. I said, I got raised by my folks that had a 1950 skill set, but they never did any of the shit that they beat my ass and told me that I should do. They never had a job with a 401k. They never made over $50,000 a year. They never graduated from high school or college or owned a home or filled out papers for a student loan. They don't know about credit. They don't know about generational wealth or investing. They don't know that life insurance is probably the best investment that you should buy. They don't know that Equifax and the other two are not real credit bureaus. They couldn't teach us any of that. But yet they beat us, they prayed for us, and they said, good luck. And as soon as we turned 18, they told us to get off our asses and go get in the world. And then
Yep.
all the mistakes we made, you should have listened to me. To what? And then Thanksgiving comes, Christmas comes, and they judge you. You're in there beefing. They got their smart ass comments. They want to talk shit about your macaroni and cheese. You see what I'm saying?
My
And
macaroni and cheese is the bomb.
like, yeah,
Literally,
my
you
shit
eat
fire
it and
too.
you blow
But
up. So it's
I'm
all right.
trying to tell you. But that's where it goes. So I stopped living that lie because it's like I'm into shrink, right? And this is us morenos. This is us morenos. This is what's wrong with us. We're loyal and we're toxic. You know, we show affection by talking shit to each other. This is me. As I sit here, 42 years old, this is
Oh,
me.
yeah.
If I don't like you, I will
I
not
ain't saying
say a
shit.
word to you.
Yep.
Well, I
You
guess my skin color comes off the
pass,
wrong way
pass
because I will
being
call your ass
professional.
out.
No, wait, it's coming. Oh, I'm getting to that part. Now, if I talk smack to you, if I talk in like it's cariñoso, it's because of love.
Or the
I
roasting.
it's
Yeah.
it's a roasting. It's because I feel comfortable enough with you. I love you enough.
Oh hell
I know
yeah.
you're not gonna take it for real. I'm showing you that yes, I'm taking it for granted that our love is real. I appreciate you
Mhm.
for being in my life. Hell yeah, I'm gonna push the boundary. And if you disrespect me by taking it serious, I guess we don't need to be in each other's lives. And there might
Mhm.
be an ass whooping for a consolation prize on your way out. Just saying, you know. So like it's toxic though, low key, you know? Like some of the stuff to where it's like we grown, we like, middle age. Everybody got their own trauma, but it's like at what point do you realize that something is effed up and you keep doing it and or you do something to change it? So I took away whoopings. I still don't have the tools to be an emotionally available, effective daddy, but I know that I have dogs that don't even speak English, but they will do whatever the hell I say on hand signals. So I have two very intelligible young men that I'm raising. Surely I can communicate to them effectively to get the goals achieved. And then it's like, no, they're just hard headed. No, bitch, you're a poor communicator. Instead of trying to say your kid's stupid, why don't you change your approach? You're supposed to be the adult, right? At the end of the day, I just want what I want. I'm trying to teach my son a lesson. I'm not trying to like damage our relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Like your
Mhm.
kids, they don't do
Thank
what you
you.
say. They do what they see you do, you know? And it tripped me out. My son turned 17 in September, and I'm pissed off at him. And he catches me out of the blue, like Homer Simpson moment. He was like, I'm trying to get choked up. He was like, Dad,
No, don't be
I know
don't be
it's
choking up
he
because
was
we don't
like
got no
he
turkey.
was like he was like, I know it's my birthday and everything, and I know 17 years ain't that long, but it's my whole life and it's a pretty big deal for me. And I just want to say thank you for being there, like literally the whole time. And I was like, yeah, well, get out of here. I was like, clean this room up, god damn it. You're welcome. Something like that. Because I was trying to like, you know, and it's funny, but I wish I could have said, you're welcome. Or I wish it would have been cool to get choked up. I wish it would have been cool to hug the little motherfucker and be like, it's all good, boy. You know, you do better than me. You will be better than me. You'll be retired by the time you're 35. You'll break the game faster than your pop did. Like
Hopefully.
that's it. That's what I want. Like I want my
Yeah.
children to be better. And I'm trying to break that
Agreed.
that cycle of you think you did. Like why do we as a culture feel this need to always put each other in our places or knock them down a few pegs? Why can't we say, hey mijo, you're great, you're good, you're beautiful, eres increíble, Why can't we do that? Why it's always, oh, you're getting a big head, or it's all right, or yeah, hey, I see you did good, but you still suck. I get it. It's para humildad to keep you humble. But I don't know, man. There's got to be a better way to do it. Like, look how much further we could go. Of course, we're great, but you see all this baggage, bro? Imagine if you could just cut them damn strings and really haul ass, bro. It's like putting a governor on a freaking Lamborghini. Why have a Lamborghini if you can only go 85? Seriously.
75, 70 here in
You
Florida.
know?
Right, Garcia?
Like how do we
Right,
cut them strings?
Aqua.
Like the holidays bring that up in me, y'all. I'm sorry, but like for real.
Yeah. Well, most of us, I bet everyone here on the panel have had or was raised in a different environment where it was very negative, very dangerous. Look, example, I grew up in the streets of Newark, New Jersey during the 70s and early 80s. I don't know if you remember that, but that was riot time. Okay. And
Economics,
I grew
baby.
up with Italians and everything else mixed up in there. And I'm here, still here. My life isn't ruined. I own my home. I have a college degree. I have a master's degree. And secretly, I have my doctorate degree. Shh. I haven't told anybody yet because that's not in my hands. Once it's in my hands, that's when I'm going to announce it. But all that is not done because I had a really good mommy and a good raise. No, motherfucker. I was fucked up every single day because
Amen.
I called out my mom out on her BS every day. I'm surprised I still got a face. So there's a lot of whitewashing, and I'm talking about Clorox whitewashing that I did with my life with all that negativeness that was all there. I shunned that out. I mean, I came to terms with my mom a couple of years ago. I had a conversation with her and I called her out on absolutely everything. And I said, that didn't mean I never loved you. That just meant that I had to, you taught me that I should be honest with my life. I should be, she was religious and all that stuff and all that kind of, yeah, you taught me. All I did is I took the good stuff and I threw away all the bad stuff. All of it. And luckily I buried it, most of it, with the man that was her husband at the time. So everything that we have become today, I love what I do. It's not a job, it's a vocation that I love. And I've been doing it for 25, going on 26 years now. I've had my aquariums for over 45 years. That's been a big plus on my side of the family. I was stressed. I go home and look at my fish, just look at them, and it would just go. Whoa. So before I found Buddhism, I had Buddhism right there. So there was all these pauses in life. And, I did what other people say you shouldn't do. No, you shouldn't do that. Okay. I see that you still live in your box. I'm going to go do what I want to do in order for me to be happy when it's time for me to sit in my box at home. And I had, literally, I had a week off from work and all I did was do stuff at my home in my box. The orchids, the fish, the videos, the shopping, the Christmas stuff, and all the things that make me joyful. And do I get depressed and do I get emotional during this time?
Obviously.
Of course I do. But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and woe about the deaths in my family or the sorrows of my pains, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to be, and I want to have fun, and I want to. What's that toy you're playing with? That looks like
crowns. Two crowns stuck together. Yeah.
Two crowns.
Kings.
I mean, and all that kind of stuff that's positive. And looking at tanks and looking at what we're doing and enjoying the joy of our fish keeping. Everything else, the human aspect of us, this is what makes us connect. I'm not sure I would be able to connect with you if I met you on the street. Right? Yeah. Any of us.
Right.
On the street. Yet I remember when I met Aquafunk at Aquashella, it was like meeting my brother. I was like, hey, how you doing? So much fun. It was great. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, here we is. Why? Because we have this. We have this. And the honesty, the truth of it all, the connectability, the vulnerability that we are in. Because if anybody here is Superman, raise your hand.
I
None of
gotta
us are.
admit,
That's a trigger.
I'm an advanced human being, bro. I'm not even bullshitting. Like I'm on some Kevin Gates shit. Like for real. Like I'm an advanced human
Yep.
being. I was gonna ask you something. Funk, this for all three of y'all. It's targeted to you, Funk, and Eduardo. Like back it up, substantiate it, please. You talking about you took a week off and you just did stuff in the house, con su orquídeas, aquarios, stuff in la casa. Okay, like I was laughing because I was looking at these tanks and I was like, wow, I did the same thing.
Yep.
2021 was a bad year. I lost like 11 people because of the malware, you know, and it was really sad. So this is like the first Thanksgiving when they didn't kick the bucket, you know what I'm saying? And that tank, every time I did some work on it, I was depressed as shit. The one over there with the Turcanas in it, that whole setup, I was depressed. I did that tank to feel better. I remember calling Jason to do me a thumbnail for the tank I did in my bedroom. Watts came through with some fish and some plants, and then Hank came through with the tank. I didn't have no money. My money was messed up because I dumped my savings to move from Hampton Roads to down here. So I was rebuilding my account. So there was no tanks. We not doing that. Hank found one, and he put it down, you know, and every freaking tank, my saltwater tank. George, he over there talking shit, but I cherish you as a friend, fool, because my birthday, like I was
I
alone.
just read that too,
I be
Steve. I
no,
just
like
read
I'm
that
really
too.
observant. I'm good at it. I was in the military, dude. I'm good at public speaking. So it was my birthday, May 4th. Mexicali, he jumped in my pop up live, and it was cool because I was bummed out. I didn't want to eat my birthday dinner alone, so I was like, let me try to do this mukbang crap. Apparently, people just like staring at each other eat. So I was like, whatever. I'll go up on the stream. I was like trying to crawl out of my depression somewhat and start being more active in social media. So I jumped on there and just had a death, in May, and I was bummed. It was a death and an anniversary of a death. So that saltwater tank, the homie took me to the store on a shopping spree, and I put the tank up, came in. George jumped in, and after that, we started talking. We hit it off. Fun, same thing, you know. And the more I think about it, that's what it is. These things are really pretty therapeutic. I mean,
Very,
I'm
very,
talking to you
very.
guys behind some fish tanks, like for real.
Yeah.
And we talk. Do I know y'all? What is knowing somebody?
Yeah.
Real talk. You feel me? I tell my troops, I have family that is not necessarily my relatives, and I have relatives that are not necessarily my family. Your family is who you love, value, and cherish, and who
Right
can
now.
reciprocate that for
Right
you.
now.
Yes,
Right
now,
now.
at that
Correct.
moment.
Right now. Mhm.
Exactly. And I think,
Yesterday we can't do anything, Steve. Yes, we can't do nothing about yesterday.
right, it's gone.
We could do something about today, and we can plan for tomorrow. But tomorrow doesn't get here. We don't know. But right now, this moment, wherever you're at,
That's what you
whatever
got.
you need, you got to latch on and say, "This is what's holding me, so I can get through what I need to go through."
I think it's because people are lazy, big bro. Look,
Oh,
America, you teach English as a second language, so you understand that Spanish, you say what the hell you're saying. In English,
Yep.
English is the only language on earth where the words don't mean what the fuck they say. They mean the opposite meaning, like literally.
Right.
And
It's English is the
we're to the point.
tangent of what we speak in the middle. We're all the
Exactly.
center of that circle, and English is like the tangent, beating around the bush,
Yes.
whatever you want to
None of
call
that.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like people are like, Steve, why you so rude? It's like, no, bro, I'm not even rude though. I think it's rude to be euphemistic. I think it's rude to bullshit people. I think it's extremely rude to not value a human being's existence enough to cherish them for the moment that you've been
That
blessed
you
to
are with
interact with
them
them and
right
treat
there.
them and take them seriously. That's what I think is
Correct.
bullshit. And we
Yeah.
got all these euphemisms and nicing it up. And look at what society has become because we turned into a bunch of pussies. I said it. I don't care. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, people that sell T-shirts and teddy bears, they're making a lot of
A
motherfucking
lot
money.
of money. Uh-huh.
We out
That's
here
right.
crying and shit when people lose their minds and go shoot up clubs and shit. Hey, maybe you should have went and sat down with the homie and checked on him. The same people out there crying and shit, lighting candles and laying flowers down is the same ones that was being dicks, not checking on the homie, not treating people right, making smart ass comments and remarks because you live in your bubble, but you forget that anybody can get their ass got at any given time. We don't respect or value life. So I will continue to be an asshole and stay at my house antisocial because I really just don't want to waste my energy or dirty up my soul. Like that's really where I'm at. And it's like I'm not selfish. I do not have the right, nor will I ever try to put someone on my program. I just appreciate the frequencies for what they are, and I'm appreciative to the universe that I have the choice and discernment to understand that that shit ain't my business. None of it. What you
And
think about me is not my business. Ain't my business.
100% correct. What you think about me,
Ain't my
not
business.
you not knowing me,
That ain't my
that's
business.
not my problem.
Ain't my
That's not on me.
business.
That's
I'm
on you.
sorry.
You're the one thinking about me. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. Um, Funk, you're from the Bronx, right? New York, the Bronx, or
Brooklyn.
where?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I'm at Brooklyn. I know it started with a B. Brooklyn. You're from Brooklyn, and we're both from the Northeast, and we
Oh
know
Lord.
as Puerto Ricans, our life was never easy. I mean, you're probably in your early 30s. I mean, I'm over here at 27.
I'm 46.
Yeah, right. So you don't look 46, so who cares? Anyway, so it's like we look at it knowing that our youth was in the midst of chaos, death, violence, drugs, you name it, that was right here.
I used to when we were kids. We used to walk and the ditch. They're not the gutter. The gutter. We used to
Yes.
collect crack bottles and get all the colors. Like who got all the
Yep.
colors? We used to
Because
got
that
the
was the
red
thing.
and the blue and the
Blue
yellow,
and the light green and all
yeah.
that. We had a collection of
The-
crack bottles,
collecting crack
and we
bottles,
did
bruh.
not know. I
Yeah.
did not know it was
Pretty
crack bottles.
glass. Pretty
Yeah.
glass.
It was
on the
just
ground.
glass.
Yep.
Yeah. They had the tops. The tops had little colors
The
on them.
lids, yes. The
Yeah.
lids. I love that kind of stuff. Anyway, but we were literally, and I had this conversation with my little sister when I was in Pennsylvania for the class. I was like, we survived during a decade of pure and utter violence in our life
Yeah.
around us.
Yep.
And I mean, we walked. You can deal with this right here. We went from Newark, New Jersey, with my best friend and her infant son, my nephew, and my sister, and we were in our early friggin' teens. Okay, we're talking. I maybe have 16. The eldest, the rest was my sister was 13, and we took a bus to downtown Newark, to the train in New York, to the train that took us to Coney Island, and we walked Coney Island, and we spent the whole damn day there and back again at night. Just those two girls, myself and my nephew who was a baby, and we are still here.
You know
today.
what? I just said that to the homie the other day. I was talking to my little brother, man. I was like, bruh, you remember when we was little, bruh? I was like, the 80s was fucked up. That would be child abuse today, the stuff my mama used to make us do. They treated
Yeah.
us like human
100%.
beings. In the
Yeah.
80s,
100%.
I was cooking when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy. My,
Mhm.
my mom would be like, go to the store and get me some cigarettes. Shit
Yep.
you not.
They
Money and
used to do
everything.
credit.
No,
In
All
Brooklyn,
the
we
you're
used
not
to
time.
do
kidding. It's
credit.
exactly what they used to do.
There's a little
Yep.
corner store
And
right
on
there.
credit. And
Yeah,
on
On
credit.
credit. On
credit.
En
credit.
la
Yeah.
I
bodega.
would be like,
They
Mira,
write
hell
it down.
yeah. Would you get candy? They
bodega,
give you some
apúntamelo,
candy in
apúntamelo.
the
Oh,
bag.
yeah.
The little, remember
Oh,
the
my
little penny candy? The little penny candy in the
Go
bag?
ahead.
And they give you the candy? Yeah, bro. I was like, that was how life was back then.
Yep.
I remember being little and mi tia, ella dice, mijo, if you see a car drive slow, run to the garage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Salta a la calle. Salta a la
Yeah,
calle.
because you already know what time it is.
It's
And
snatching time.
snatching or shooting,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you know. And like, but this Houston though, it was ready.
Yeah.
Now I'm crack hit Houston
Yeah.
bad.
So check
It was
this out.
normal for us.
Check this out. And this was a normal day when I was growing up. This is like you see it, you go, oh snap, look at that, and then you forget about it. You go about talking. So when we was growing up, my grandmother, we called her Titi Crucita, right? And Titi Crucita, Titi Cru, she had this really mean mug on her face 24/7.
Yep.
And we go into the store and we start walking, and my uncle's name is Papo, had this girlfriend named Rachel, and she was a crackhead. And Crucita, by the way, Titi means aunt for y'all.
Right.
Titi Crucita saw Rachel buying drugs, right? Um, and Crucita was probably like 4 something. I don't know how she was short. And I remember her walking up to Rachel, my Tio Papo's girlfriend, kicking her ass right there on the corner and dragging her by her hair
Mm-hmm.
2 blocks back to the house for buying drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like,
Pura bofeta. Pura bofeta.
and the whole
Pura
time,
bofeta.
and it's funny because
Ay, cabrón, la que tú haces la calle.
yeah,
that's
but the whole
Mhm.
time, because Rachel was Italian, right? But she was strung out. So she was a skinny Italian girl with long brown hair, and she's like bent over trying to get Crucita to get off of her hair. And Crucita's drag. It was that was like Tuesday.
That's
That was
normal.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm about to say what
That's like
happened.
Tuesday.
I was gonna ask you what happened.
Yeah.
For real, so what happened? For real though, what happened? That was it.
Well, dragged her to the house, and
No.
I mean,
shouldn't
after
have
that,
been
we was
out
outside. We was outside. You know, one big thing. It
She
was
shouldn't have
wild.
been out there. She ain't no been
She-
out
no.
there. Yeah,
Buying
that's normal.
drugs. You know what I mean?
But funny. When you hear this in Spanish, you're gonna think I'm saying a bad word. But my grandmother's name was Consuelo, and we used to call her Mama Con. Mama Consuelo.
Mama
Con.
Con. Yeah.
Mama Con. Well, when I said that to my younger brother's brothers from another father, and they're like, "Oh," they went up to my mom and said that I said the maricon word.
Mhm.
And my mother didn't even wait. She didn't even breathe. She walked up to me and
Just
beat
got
the
beat
shit out of my
Yeah.
face.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then my sister, she's like, he just said Mama Kong.
She
and
got
then
beat
the
too.
other idiot said, yeah, that's what he said. He cursed. He said that bad word. And my mother just looked at me and said, "Para la próxima, por si acaso, canto de cabrón," and walked away.
Oh
That was
shit,
it.
you got one for just in case, huh?
Yeah.
Just in
But
case.
otra vez.
Just,
Yeah,
I didn't
I
get
hate-
one. I
that's
got a
the
lot.
worst.
I got a
But
lot.
just in case
ones.
ass whoopings are the worst
Just
ones,
in case
bro.
ones. Yep.
I always used to get my
They'll
ass
never-
first
they'll
and then
ne-
asked if I did it.
In all seriousness,
Exactly.
in all
Exactly.
seriousness, I just did this to my son. I went over there and I was like, "Son, I fucked up." He was like, "What'd you do?" And I told him and I explained that situation you just said. I said, "Now me, they would have been like, well, fuck you anyway, because you're gonna do something anyway. You would have had
Yep.
it coming." I was like, "Nah, that's wrong." I said, "We're trying to build character and integrity here, and I have to admit that I was wrong and I exercised poor character. I shouldn't have discussed that with you. It's outside of that's not your lane. As
That's
a
not your
child,
lane.
you have no business discussing things of that nature with me." And
Yep.
he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Now don't get it twisted now. I still fuck you up. But I'm just saying, like, we
But
gotta
it's
have
guidance.
integrity here."
But it's
Right. I'm breaking the
guidance.
cycle.
Steven,
I'm
it's
trying
taken
to.
as guidance.
Right.
There's a big difference how we are parenting today as guidance and the way that we were parented.
Right.
It was literally how many times have you heard the
Dictatorship.
chancleta? La chancleta.
Boy.
Okay.
Sorry, but fuck the chancleta. My mother had stiletto heels and platform shoes. She used to boomerang the motherfuckers around the corner, hit me in the head,
I was
and
just
then
going
put
to
them back,
ask
and she
you,
was still
was she
strutting
a
down the street.
thrower? Because I had a
Yeah,
thrower.
she was a throw.
This
She was a thrower,
category.
spanker, or whacker, you name
I
it. She was
had
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Love you,
I've been
Mom.
beat. I've been beat with wire hangers, extension cords with the plug part. So you got hit twice.
The stuff
Yeah.
part,
Um,
yes, with the plug.
Belt.
sticks,
Yeah. See.
broomsticks.
Mhm.
One time my mom pulled out a spatula, and I said, "Mom, what you gonna do with a spatula?" So she went and got a chicken knife, a kitchen knife,
Yeah.
and I locked the door. And she was like, "Open the door," and I'm like, "Yeah, right." I was a runner. I was. If you're gonna whoop my butt, I'm gonna wear you out before you get
Guilty.
there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
tired. I was a
I
runner.
got medals, bro. I did good in track.
Yeah.
I kicked
I
my
got
ass. I got
No
medals.
joke,
Still.
Funk. I was less than 6 years old, and I booked the hell out that house,
Yep.
and I ran around the corner and went out that
Yep.
way. And this guy grabbed me just before I hit the main road in Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
La Victoria, and he held me. My mom caught up. I mean, mom was
Mhm.
she's 18
Yep.
years older than me, so I'm 5 years old, so she's barely in her 20s. And the man said, promising I told him she gonna kick my ass. It's Spanish, and he said, "You promise me you don't hit this child? I'll give him back." Soon as she handed me to her, she
Mhm.
beat the hell out of me down the street,
Yep.
down the whole street, and then cracked the shit out of me while in the house.
Yeah.
When my grandpa died, may he rest in peace, her dad, I was his favorite. And anytime he was in the house and she was chasing me, I would be between his legs. I would go right between. He was 6'2". I would go right between his legs and then latch on like a goddamn sloth on a branch and not let go. I would not let go. I'm telling you, I would not let go. He was my savior.
See the women, bro. The women are the beaters. I didn't get no whoopings from. No, it was the women.
I don't really have a problem.
Older, but when I was little, it was the women.
I don't really have a problem.
So it didn't matter.
Like a lot of people, like if I tell people this, the stuff that happened to me, but they would feel like, "Oh, I'm sorry for you," and I'm like, if it wasn't for that, I would probably be robbing you. I would probably be robbing you. Let's be real.
You wouldn't be here.
I'd be dead or in jail. Yeah. So I don't really consider that. I mean, a lot of people think, like if they really, really like, okay, like this whole YouTube thing, you know what I mean? You don't know what I do when I'm, not on camera. A lot of people would consider it toxic masculinity, but it's nothing compared to my uncles. I put it that way. My uncles, so I don't know. I don't have a lot
of that going on.
I don't have a problem.
What do you
I don't have a problem with
that?
it.
For real, because you brought it up.
Yeah, like toxic masculinity?
No, not even just that one specifically, but these buzzwords. Because look, I'm a well-read person. I know what words mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to use a word if I don't know what it means. And so it sounds cool and what's that word? Trendy, catchy, and toxic masculinity. What the hell is that?
I would wear that. I would wear that with honor. I ain't gonna lie to you. From what
is it?
It's anything that people, it's young people. Let's be real. It's young people. Want to cry about. He said this. He said that. Hey, the idea of walk it off, rub some dirt in it, stop crying. That's apparently toxic masculinity. But I don't have a problem with that.
The thing is that the word that you're using, the toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
I got the toxic femininity, but a lot of Ricky just said something we don't know nothing about. No chancla. You wait, Ricky. You'll find out in 2 minutes. You met my sister. Anyway, so this bullshit about toxic masculinity, because that's what it is. The woke people. Well, I'm a woke person, but what woke me up was the experiences I have. Be thankful, motherfucker, that I went through it so I can be this nice guy today. Because there's a lot of reality that people are hiding behind this, the trendy, you can't be like that. You can't be real. You got to be civil. Yeah.
Okay.
Look what civility has gotten us, politically speaking, and then look at the fact at how we're dealing with someone who was very, very negative in our world and affected us in that way, and then we look at the positivity of what's happening today, and we're like still going at it as if they're toxic. You know what's toxic? People who are narcissistic.
Yeah.
That is
You know
toxic.
what?
Period. I'll leave
That's
it at
funny
that.
you brought. No, look, check this out, because I'm listening to y'all, and I take a practical approach to stuff. So apparently, so if there's toxic, just toxic masculinity. Okay,
Okay.
fantastic. Who in the hell is gonna go fix the lights in the middle of a storm? Who in the fuck's
Who
building skyscrapers? Who's
who who
building
who
Aquapunk.
roads? Who's
who's
working
who's
with
yo
petroleum
yo
plants?
yo
Who's
who's
doing
gonna
all that
He's
stuff?
doing it right there.
yo
Oh no,
yo
that way. That way.
hey
Here he is. He
who's
is.
gonna
Who's
check on
doing it?
that noise?
That
Who's gonna
one.
check on that noise at
Exactly.
3 in the morning? At 3 in the
Exactly.
morning, who's
Thank
gonna
you.
check
Who's
on that
doing
noise?
it? Who's doing it then? So while these people sit up here and bitch in their bubbles, who, when the monsters come, and there are
Yep.
monsters, dude, that's the biggest lie the devil ever told, is that he don't exist. So when the monsters come, who then? If we all singing songs and coddling each other with cocoa and blankets, who in the hell is gonna go get the meat?
I
Oh, I'm
told my
vegan.
sister,
I'm vegan. Okay, who's gonna dig the holes and plant the goddamn soybeans for your tofu? Who's
me
gonna
and my
fix your
sister, look,
tractor?
look. Me and my sister had this conversation. She's a E, she's a E. What is she?
EMC.
I think she going on E8. She at E8.
Okay.
She going for an E8 in the military.
Hey.
So we had a discussion on the like I could not be in the military right now with my mind frame, my
Yeah, me neither.
mindset. And
No.
and I was like, Amy, my sister's name is Amy. I said,
I
and
met her.
she was supporting, she not my sister, Amy.
Yeah, she was on one of your streams. Yes,
Oh
yes,
yeah,
she had
yeah.
she had the cornrows. I don't forget
Yeah,
faces, Bob. I
yeah.
don't forget it.
So Amy tells, she's like all for the new rules and
Right.
and I'm like, Amy, when the shit goes down, who do you want with
By your
that
right
weapon?
there. Who do
You know
you
what I
want
mean? Who
right
do you
there?
want support? You want that dude that complains that he's too hot or this is not sanitary. You don't want that. You want that
No.
knuckle dragon
Oh my
bully.
god.
You want that
I'm gonna
knuckle
have to.
dragon bully.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what you
just.
want.
All I'm
So
doing is pacing around my living room real quick, and I'm gonna come back.
All right, all right, all right.
so
But that is so true. That is
mm,
so damn true. And I had with my sister, and hopefully she'll finally get her second divorce from the same husband. Anyway, the fact that we had that conversation about she. I hate talking about her because these are feelings, but in general, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of women who felt that they made a mistake because they went to the toxicity of a man and that found attractive or whatever.
yeah.
I'm like, because you were looking for someone to protect your ass. It wasn't about you were raised this way. No, you were attracted to them because you needed someone to protect your sorry ass because you didn't protect yourself. So that could have been your choice. So, but to find out that the negative aspect of these narcissistic, self-serving sons of fucking bitches are not positive for a woman's life or a child's life or another man's life for that matter. You have to get rid of it. She said something. Family, we choose our family because I got family that I have killed off. I don't want anything to know about them or they know where I'm at or anything to that effect. Why? Because of the world of negativity. Number one. Two,
Right.
to be sensitive to other people's emotions or their pain. Let's call it pain. It's not a
Right.
negative aspect. It's a very
No, it's
positive
not.
aspect.
Yeah.
And I would be there for any one of you. You guys want to call me? There's my number. Just call George. He has it. And all you got to do is, Eduardo, can I talk to you about? Go ahead, and I'll just listen. And you want my opinion on goldfish? I think it's somebody on the chat that said, "Can we talk about tanks?" I'm like, I don't know. We don't. The tanks are right behind us. You want to see them? That kind of thing. But to me,
but
most
they were
important is the connectivity
they were
that we have as
smirking at
human
the end of
beings.
that comment.
No,
I'm
like
sorry, what?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just had to, cause rules. Look, man. I don't know how the Army goes, but like in the Navy, we have this thing called CACO duty. CACO. It's an acronym. Y'all Google it. What that is it's only for senior enlisted enough. But that's the poor bastards who get to go knock on people's mama's doors and say, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am, but such and such is gone. And it's, if you haven't done it before, you shouldn't speak on it. If you've never experienced it before, you shouldn't speak on it. If you don't understand it, then this is what I've been telling people. I told my son this. I said, son, you need to pray, and you need to pray for three things. You need to ask the universe to release you from arrogance, hubris, and your ego. I said, because knowledge is just an agreement of an understanding of the motherfuckers alive right now. We agree that we understand this stuff this way. That's it. I said, look, these rules, they're forged in blood. That is the most valuable commodity on the planet, human blood. What people don't understand is money doesn't mean anything when you don't have immortality. And there are evil people in this world as we speak looking for immortality. They don't give a shit about money or power or red or blue or your side's winning, this side's losing. It's about productivity. Here's the analogy. And us military people, we learn this because we're out there. All we want to do is go drink or be with our families or go fishing or whatever. But we're out here getting shot at. Here's the deal. Here's the analogy. You have a farmer. This farmer raises chickens. The farmer wants to increase productivity, so he opens the gate. The chickens don't know that the farmer's just trying to increase productivity, so they get happy and they get to laying all kinds of eggs. When they can't produce eggs anymore, they go to a plate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap. There go your rights. There go your freedoms. There go your laws. There go your rules. It's all about productivity, people. And either you're productive or you're not.
Or
But I
you're not.
promise you, from the cradle to the grave, somebody will make money off of you,
Dead or alive.
dead or alive.
Dead or alive.
And
Very true.
as soon as we can stop being so euphemistic and come on, how you said it, whitewashing it,
Yeah.
because like funerals hurt,
Sugarcoating
tears
it.
hurt. Yeah,
Sugarcoating
putting
it.
sugar on
Sugarcoating.
shit. There you go.
There you go.
What I would implore everybody to do is just take 5 minutes and go on YouTube and type in this thing called angel flights. They're going to take you to the Dover airport in Delaware. And you're going to get see all them mamas sitting on them tarmacs crying their asses off when their babies come home in a goddamn box with the flag on it.
Yep.
And we think we got real problems. It
No,
is
we don't.
necessary. It's 1,000% necessary, because what I don't want to experience is waking up in the morning with an army tank in my yard or a damn MRAP going down MLK over here. Look, it's real for real. They got the whole world to stay the fuck in the house for 2 years behind the flu. What the fuck
Yep.
you think us Americans gonna do if the shit really hit the fan? We not as tough as we claim to be, and we really don't want no smoke. There ain't a gun you can buy. There ain't an NRA you can support. If these motherfuckers want to reach out and touch you, I promise you, baby, they can touch you. And there ain't
Yep.
nothing you can do about it. So it would behoove us to, come together, because that is the one thing that they cannot beat. And that is
They
the
can't break
human.
unity.
Yes, they cannot
They
break
can't
the
break
human, the
unity.
human element.
Mhm.
Read a book, and I'm pretty sure you've read it, Eduardo. It's called Man's Search for Meaning, and it was written by Victor Minkle, I think is his name. And he was a Jewish Holocaust survivor.
Holocaust survivor.
Yeah,
Correct.
he's
Yep.
a doctor
Yep.
and a psychologist, I think, or psychiatrist. And the term running to the wire came from the camp internees just giving up on life, just giving up on everything, and running to the wire because they knew that those Germans and those
They were,
watchtowers were going to shoot them. They
yep.
said,
They were
fuck it.
coming to him. If
You
I can
know?
get over the wire, I'm
Yeah.
safe.
And so they just
It's
say the
getting
hell
out.
with it. I'm gonna run
Yeah.
to the wire.
Because staying here is that I'm just giving them the chance to
Right.
catch me when I'm not ready. Yep.
Look at the human condition. Your question earlier, and I thought about this, and it was a great opportunity to bring up that book. How many of us have spent our lives in a box? For real. I got these e-collars on this puppy I'm training. It's a psychological barrier. That's all it is. It's a vibration and a beep. But I was telling George the other day, I could take that damn dog and park her ass in the front yard like that lamb in the nativity scene for Christmas, and she'd be Christmas decoration. And the funny part about
That's
it
it.
is the collar got a green light that blink on it, so it would legitimately it be
She'll
it.
go with the decor. She'll go with the
How
decor.
many of us? How many of us
Are
have one
the
of those on our neck?
how many of us follow people that
Yes,
are literally on a
a
leash,
shot collar. Yes.
a shot collar?
Oh, I can't do that. Why not? You can't put no fish in there like that. Why you ever done? But such and such says such. No, bro. Like only one or two things is gonna happen, and one of them's gonna happen anyway. It just might happen faster. You know what I'm saying? Like they might not die, or they might.
No, you never know.
You know,
Hello, Joe Cafe or Joe Java, as I call him. He
Joe
was
Coffee.
he was expecting pole dancing. Sorry, I'm not wearing the stilettos and the tank top. Sorry for you. But the thing is, the reality of all of this is, we know it exists. We know it's out there. We know it's very close to us 24/7. We've lost family members, friends, acquaintances, co-workers to the violence, to the wars, um, to the drugs, and we've lost children to guns and
Hmm.
psycho people that, whatever you want to call it. And the only thing that I hear is thought and prayers. And every time I think about, I'm like, what did your prayers do
Mm.
to the one for the ones before that one? What did your
Christmas.
prayers do for the ones before those? What did your prayers and thoughts do for the ones before those? We're at 600 and something shootings this year.
Hmm.
Okay. Just this year. And, you know, children, um, the elderly, the stubborn people, the good people, the decent people. There's more of us than there are of them.
Hmm.
There's more of us than there are of them. Yet it is us that die more than they do.
You know
So
why?
something has to change, of course.
I know why. I affectionately call it the Christmas paradigm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me elaborate. On Christmas, it don't matter if you're an atheist, it don't matter what you are, hell. On Christmas, everybody nice. We want to give presents. We want to eat food. We want to go to the movies. We want to joy and love and all that. Christmas. Only on Christmas. The next day, everybody right back to being a dick again. I always wondered why it was like, how come everybody want to be nice on Christmas? Because that what's that movie, the Charles Dickens one with the ghosts with your boy?
Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
Christmas Carol.
Christmas
A
Carol,
Christmas Carol, right? A
bro.
Christmas Carol.
That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. Okay, the cartoon version scared the hell out of me. Go figure, Walt Disney, satanic bastard. Um, and the old black and white one. That them two movies and when the bell rings, the angel gets his wings. The black and white one. You know the guy he hated himself and that one. Them movies like to me
Warped our minds. It
in
warped our
my
minds when
head
we were
because I'm
kids.
like, do you see what they're doing? Like they're playing with us. And then I'm sitting up here and it's like, look at this Christmas mentality though, big bro. Check this out. The shootings, the kids, like it's a Christmas mentality. Thoughts and prayers. You know
Prayers,
what's missing? Action. Because change is
actions.
uncomfortable. For some reason, the human organism, we don't take very well to change. And I think this is something new because historically, that's how we got to where the hell we are. We champion change. We laughed at
Yeah.
change.
My
Like,
philosophy is
you know,
be an agent of change. And
exactly.
I've been that agent of change my whole life. because I was not going to settle for the shithole that I was in as a child. I was not going to deal with the shithole that was the boxes that they wanted to put us in.
Right.
So I was that, and I am that agent of change for the positiveness of my life. If it flows over to others, peace, baby, more power to you. But it's about me. It's about how I protect my world, and I can't protect you. I can't protect you. I can only protect myself and guide with my experience those little souls in front of me every day
Mm-hmm.
that I am teaching them a second language only for them to be able to defend themselves and be agents of change in their own life and culture. I'm talking about from every part of the world. I have students from Mexico, Guatemala, Central America, South America, Europe, Moldavia, Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Cubans, a lot some Puerto Ricans, a lot of Dominicans, Haitians. I have them all. And I know the sufferings that they have gone through in their culture, in their world today. I just got a girl from Madrid a week ago
Oh, it's
on
bad. It's
Thursday
Spain.
coming in from Madrid
Yeah, it's
into my
bad.
classroom.
Yeah.
So it is not about, and I am that agent of change, and I wear that with a badge of honor only because it worked for me. I knew how to make those changes happen for me. So if I made it for me, because I was that kid who came from another country, not speaking English, to America.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, I think my English is pretty good. It's all right. It's all right. But
Decent.
it's decent, but I know how they feel. As I speak to them in English and they're looking at me like, is he speaking Japanese? I don't get it. Or I read to them and they're looking at me like, and they don't know. They don't know. So it has to be translated. It has to be made common knowledge to them. And they appreciate that. And I said, but the only reason I'm doing this is because I was you. And if I can give my learnings to them, that's what an educator does. Everything I know, I'm going to pass it on to the students. Let them become better human beings and take care of this world better. And yet we have people up here who have never walked into a classroom telling us how we should teach, telling us that here's where woke comes to die. No, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Here, here it's about melding the mind of a child, not to my philosophy of life, but to life itself. Learning is a part of our world. And we learn the good, we learn the bad. Some of us take the good path, a lot of us take the bad path. Some of us take the positive path, a lot of us take the negative path. It's who is that person that crosses your path in your life? Oh my God, I feel like a goddamn TED commercial that turns that negativity focus into the positivity of your life. Look at the fact that we're still here. We're here. That has to mean something. You went to wars, guys. You were at
I
war.
was
You're
just fixing to
here.
ask you something about that. Not necessarily war, but I told George this because this is my analogy. You know how many people are alive right now, as we speak, that
8 billion.
that have never felt their heartbeat?
Oh God. Yep. Yep.
For real. I
Yeah.
mean, feel your heartbeat to where it's in your ears because it's going. You don't know what's finna to happen. You don't know if you gonna make it. Like your perspective changes once you've been able to feel your heartbeat. Your value of life your value of your heartbeat changes once you really get to feel it. Um, I don't know. There ain't nothing like adrenaline. You
No,
know,
that is like the juice
you
that
know,
drives me. That's big
it's
time.
and I'm pretty cold blood, not cold, but I accept it because you're nothing.
Yep.
You know, you're a spit in the wind. At the end of the day, we get ready to go to Syria, and we get this message, and we go. One of my junior guys, he ain't never been in war before, and he's scared shitless. He takes a whole thing of post-it notes, right? And he starts writing these letters to God and posts them all in the shop, in the office, everywhere. And I said, I got it. I said, hey, boy. I said, let me tell you something, man. I said, look, only one or two things gonna happen. I said, either you're gonna die and your daughter gonna get a lot of money, or you're not gonna die, and you're gonna piss it all off on booze, and you're gonna be paying child support because you're gonna do something stupid.
Stupid. Mhm.
I said either way, it's too late. I said you ain't related to Jesus. You can't swim that good. You can't walk on water. You ain't going no damn where. I said if you're scared, go to church. Chaps is down there. I think they have prayer at 7. Stop wasting the goddamn office supplies.
Yep.
Welcome to war.
It's the truth.
It is what it is. Hey, bro, if you ain't right with the good Lord, it's too late. Should have signed up for something else.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I'm taking
You know,
on what
yeah,
Eduardo had said about being the change and taking, us being that, and just trying to bring it back to what we were talking about. How do we implement that here with our community? What are some of the things that we can do to try to help people that are out there that might be going through these situations, that might
Yeah.
need somebody just, I mean, I know that there's been talk about doing a 24-hour stream during Christmas and I think New Year's Eve, but I don't know if that's been fulfilled or not. I guess what I'm trying to get at, that could be a way that you could be part of that change if you have a few minutes, a few hours, and you can be on there just so that there is, I mean, there's a difference between having to spend the holidays while you were in the military, because even when you were in the military, you're still with family. Uh, as crazy as that might sound,
No, you literally still with family.
you're
it's
with
the
family.
real path.
Family.
It's the real path.
So,
We have done a Christmas 24 on Christmas. We have done that in the Fish Fam. We have done last year. We did that.
yeah, so and that's what for those that are maybe not aware that that's going on, or of somebody that could benefit from being able to be with other people. I mean, take this opportunity to spread that, be that change.
Mm-hmm.
Do this is an opportunity to do something instead of just waiting for somebody else to do something. Uh, so I wanted to say that because the conversation we're having is great, but I want to make sure that people understand that they're not alone out there.
Right.
And some people feel like they're totally alone when they don't have to be alone.
Well,
There's so many of us.
to add to that particular comment, I have heard from many of the Fish Fam that if it wasn't for Fish Fam, they would be alone.
Mm.
And this has been a very positive outlook for them where they come and they can join us in this. No, I agree with 100%. There should be more people in a stream like this where we're talking about reality. But at the same time, everybody's out for themselves.
There you go.
I'm here because this is where I want to be. Um, and I have the eggs on this side from Foxy's things. They're right over here, and I'm watching the chat on that side. You know, but this is where I want to be. This is the conversation that is beneficial for me.
Yeah.
I get joy and satisfaction from what I'm getting here. It's a communication. It's open. There's nobody here yelling at each other or cursing each other out. I miss Funk. He left. But all this stuff is positive. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, this is exactly what needs to happen. You know, a lot of people need to connect and they don't know how. We have people that do streams that cannot be with people in actual surroundings. They're
Mm-hmm.
so antisocial. Yet with the Fish Fam, they've been able to break down those barriers a lot and become better human beings in their own life. To be accepted is first accept yourself. You have to learn to accept yourself. For the good, the bad, the ugly, the whatever you want to look at it, that's a movie. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I remember. Anyway,
Mm.
but as a child, anyway, but accepting all of that about yourself just breaks all the chains of the society that wants to literally bind us to the box that they want to put us in.
But hey, you know what, man? And I'm gonna share this with y'all. Wolves don't need shepherds.
Nope.
Check this out, man. Wolves do not need shepherds.
Nope.
Okay? Sheep do. What wolves do is they only prey on the weak and the sick. They actually help the herd by
Yep.
purging the herd and cleaning the herd. They only take as much as they need. The shepherd, however, what does he do? Takes their
Shoots
wool
the
in the
wolf.
springtime and fattens them up in the fall
But you said
to
it.
the
It's
plate,
all for it's all
to
for
the
the
plate,
product.
straight to the plate.
But it's all for the product. Exactly.
Exactly.
What the human race does to the animal world kingdom is a tragedy because we're constantly interfering in the process of the cycle of life. Where I that's where I think we're the biggest poison to
Well, that's
Earth.
what I was finna say. Don't you see society symptomatic of us fucking up the natural order of things? All the
Absolutely.
way from the American family to go ahead and fill those blanks in. Don't worry, I'll wait. We don't even have that much time, you
Right.
know? So, like, I'm looking at that. Look at this wolf mentality, okay? Human beings are pack animals. We're not herd animals. Wolves also are pack animals. There is a hierarchy. We need each other. We have to. We feed
Yep.
off of each other's energy. That's we're not meant to function alone.
Nope.
Never have been. And
Nope. Because at one time, if we look back at our own genetics of the world and
hmm,
our coming to our brainiac selves that we are today, and we're still still learning more. We were once those pack animals, the caveman. I
yeah,
mean, the women stayed in the cave, the men went out and got the meat. If it was the women who went out, we probably would be all vegetarians. But anyway, it's sort of like that kind of mentality where we have to challenge the society of today so that we are not left behind as a progressive human being. We have to think that as an agent of change, we are moving forward as humanity moves forward.
hmm.
But that's not what I see in the news. That's not what I see in society. Not happening more.
I think, and I told George this history, like the future, they will hate us. They will hate everybody that has been alive for the last 200 years. We will be known as the civically irresponsible, selfish, egotistical dumbasses.
Narcissistic.
Yeah,
Narcissistic.
dumbasses who took all the water away and replaced it with Gatorade because it's got electrolytes in it. Putting a Mountain Dew in water fountains and shit. History will prove this, and it'd be so badass if I could like be reincarnated and remember my ghost, so I could pick up where I left off at the last time just to see how much they hate us. We're good. They're
Yep.
gonna hate us more than we hate Babylon or the Romans or the Greeks. We
Oh
will
yeah.
be hated, and it's so
Oh yeah.
sad that people don't see it. It's this analogy of the internet, right? You can tell your students this. So Copernicus made the telescope, right? Or
Correct.
whoever he gives it to the emperor, and instead of looking at the sky, he points it down on the people, and he's like, "Ooh, look at her, she naked," and then he's like, "Ooh, look over there, he taking the dump. Hey, ooh, look over there, he over there beating his dog." And instead of looking up to look at universes and planets and basically at your fingertips, you have this technological wonder. You use it for BS. It's the same
Yep.
thing we're doing with the internet right now.
Yep.
Instead of
I'll
Yeah.
be right
using
back.
it to stand
Hold
on
that.
each other's
I'll be right
shoulders,
back.
okay, like what I was saying with my analogies, instead of us using the internet, right, to stand
Yeah.
on each other's shoulders, to touch the motherfucking sky, we use it for bullshit. Instead of using it as a tool, we use it as a toy. And it just shows if this was a litmus test to see how healthy humanity was, because I just everybody wants to get so arrogant, right? And be like, oh, you Americans, and it's this and this. And nah, bro, it's people. Everybody thinks they're better wherever the hell they're at. And it's crazy, like how we talk so matter of factly, having never done shit.
Well, it goes back to the ability to be able to communicate with other people from the comfort of your living room, and
Mm-hmm.
whereas before, those people you wouldn't hear because they wouldn't get out of where they're at. So,
Right. And it's crazy because, like, independent of the military, I do have stamps on my passport. military or not, I will still be well traveled. It's the person I told. I'm an advanced human being. I'm not playing. Like, so you see vehicles, you use vehicles. People always say, "Why'd you join the military?" Because they like people that know me, and they're like, "No, bro, that don't even fit you." And this is what I say: I pledge my allegiance to the Federation to become a citizen. And then people are like, "What are you talking about?" I'm a citizen now of the United States of America because I am afforded all the things that a citizen should have: health care, income, shelter, education. Need I go on? So that's all I did was pledge my loyalty to the Federation for citizenship. And you got these people watching all these goddamn movies and this. And why are people so dumb then? When are you going to click and realize that your regular your scheduled programming, remember that? And now tune in for your regular scheduled program. Remember that? They used to say
Well,
that on TV.
well, I remember vividly when TV wouldn't start until a certain part
Yeah,
of the
and
day.
it used to go off.
Yeah,
And they
it would
play the
start
Star
at a
Spangled
certain part of
Banner
the day.
and show flowers and shit. Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
I
Yeah.
remember midnight listening to the Star Spangled Banner and the TV going blank, and there was
Fuck,
nothing else
nothing.
being played.
You going to sleep.
So, but
Exactly.
nowadays, you can't get away from everything's on all the time.
Right. Media. You're just consumed by media. So when does your brain have a chance to like process? When do you read a book? When do you know what I'm saying? And I think it's great that you wanted to come up today and just in general what we're doing, trying to promote substance, you know? And then, like Eduardo will jump in, add substance to it, and being part of the solution, I think is like leading by example. And I hate this shit to where people they give too much. We put too much responsibility. We put too much emphasis on people and we make them gurus. We idolize them. We worship them. And you know what? It takes balls like the size of watermelons to do what I'm doing and say, I don't know everything. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm a work in progress. Like, I know I need to be more emotionally available, blah, blah, blah. That's where we need to be. Like, if you value me, then just do that. Like, I'd rather give you a Kleenex after you cry because I've told you the truth than tell you something funny just to make you smile and it's not the truth. That's messed up. You can be honest without being unkind, is basically what I'm saying. So, which one is
100%.
more unkind? Being a euphemistic liar or just being honest and trying to be as kind as possible and then having the courage to deal with that person, to love that person.
No
Don't be
matter what.
selfish, right? What if he gets mad at me? I don't want to tell him that. What if he gets offended? Grow some balls and help the
Yeah.
homie then.
Yeah,
Like,
I
be
love the
there
way you
with
say
him.
grow some balls. Grow some cojones. Grow
Like, be there
cojones,
with him then.
carajo.
Like, people will be like, well, his breath stinks. Well, did you tell him? Maybe he got something going on, G. Maybe it's a disease. Maybe, how do you know? Talk to him. And then after he gets
You
offended, love
don't
him
know.
enough to be like, man, this conversation is no more pleasant for me to have with you than it is for you to have it had. So let's just figure
Right.
this awkward shit out together, homie, and like figure this out, you know? But
You know,
we get
one of the
labeled as
words that I'm
the
always
crazy bastards.
right.
Go ahead,
One of
G.
the
My
words that I
bad.
love to use. One of the words that I love to use is ignorance. And everybody thinks that's a negative word.
It's
The
not.
definition of
Stupid is
ignorance
negative.
is I don't know. Ignorance is not
It-
knowing,
That's
you
it.
know. And as an educator, when they say I don't know, I'd rather you try than and find out
Right.
than oh no, I'd rather stay ignorant
Right. I
because
don't know is not an excuse for lack of initiative. And I'm getting
right,
on my son's ass about this every day. I'm like, boy, you are married to that damn electronic device. There is
Yep.
no excuse for you not to know how to do shit. I can rebuild a goddamn carburetor to an 87 Pontiac Fiero on YouTube, and I don't even have one. All you got to do is
yep,
Google it. I said, no, boy, you lying. You lying to me.
yep.
But we
And there's
foster
that
that. We enable that.
yes, and we still
It's
do.
our toxic
Well,
masculinity.
I don't, but
I
not in
don't
my
either.
daily life. Not in my daily life.
Yeah, no, I
I'd
don't
rather
either.
face the music right now, right here, than having to deal with the consequences of someone else's ignorance. They
Exactly.
were in my room. They were taught to use ignorance as a tool to progress, not as a tool to digress. That's number one.
There you
You
go.
know, it's sort of like the innocent child, right? The innocent person. That's the
Hmm.
innocent victim. Let's put it where it goes. The
They're
innocent victim
undomesticated, is really what it
didn't
is.
know. The victim didn't know that this was going to be the consequence of what would happen. And I literally look at them like,
What is you
you
talking about? Somebody told you that?
no. This is what this is what people who are the victim, again, victim
I'm about to
in,
say 'cause that don't make no damn sense.
well, right. In other words, we're human beings. We do know some of the signs of someone that's could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Location,
Mm-hmm.
stranger,
Mm-hmm.
little
Sound like you talking about accountability, but I could be
red,
wrong.
right, red flags popping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends telling you that's a warning, you should be
Mm-hmm.
careful,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're the
I'm
victim,
tracking
but
now.
yet you
I'm
had
tracking.
all the prior knowledge
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
playing the victim. You played
Yeah.
right into that
Right.
person's
Right.
world, knowing the signs that you were walking into. And we're not talking about the innocent child here.
No.
We're talking about human beings who have experienced, who have done this, who have done that, who are no saints, and yet they're portraying themselves as the victim
Don't get me
and the
started.
innocent victim. I'm sorry,
Just don't
the
get me
only
started.
innocent victims out there in the world right now,
It's
to me,
kids.
are kids.
They voiceless. They voiceless. And let me tell you something.
And
When
that
people
is
go
such a
to
powerful statement that you
let me
just said right
look,
now.
no,
They're
I'm about to go
voiceless.
ham. Oh, I'm about to go
Mhm.
ham. Shit, you done did it. It's all good. Look, people want to go jumping on hashtags and all this shit. Let me tell you something. If you're a whore, you're just a whore. I don't care. What
Yep.
about them voiceless kids in there with they nasty ass uncle touching on them? What about them voiceless little girls in there with they nasty ass stepdaddy going in there when they sleep and shit? But
And
you
nasty
whores
ass women doing the
and
same thing
women.
to
Oh,
boys.
I'm going there. What about them little boys getting babysitted by these women who hate men and they want to demasculate a little boy so they take out that bullshit on them kids?
Yep.
Okay, but you whores want to get up here talking about hashtag me too. Yeah, I said it because you got buyer's remorse and shit, taking away the real voice from the voiceless victims who grow up carrying this baggage for their whole lives. What about the men who don't want to admit that some nasty some bitch tried to do something to them because we don't want
Yep.
to get teased or go to prison? So what this wokeness does is it creates victims. It takes away accountability.
Yep.
Victim shame my ass. I have daughters. I was in the military. I had my troops coming up to me telling me stuff, and I'd be like, young lady, before you continue with anything that you are going to tell me, I need to know, do you want this to be restricted or unrestricted?
Right.
And then we talk.
Yep.
Why can't I'm a father, a brother, a uncle, everything? I'm going to say this to my niece. Honey, it is terrible that that happened to you. Honey, I would never want anything like that was wrong. Now, this is a teachable moment. Tell me what happened.
Right.
What did you do? And people want to get all up at arms talking about that's victim shaming. No, bitch, what do you do? What did you do? You know what that means? It means what did you not do? What did
Right.
you not see? What did you
Right.
fail to take? What did you not do? Teachable
What
moment.
was it visual to you? What did you
Exactly.
not what happened that you didn't see it coming? The
They
but
did
that
this to us in
also
the
is
Navy.
in the innocence of the child. I remember I wrote a poem, La pérdida de la inocencia.
Hmm.
When you lose that innocence, that means, like Silver Creek just said, when you lose that innocence, that's when you become woke. That's how
Right.
I understood woke to be. I
Right.
woke up to reality.
There you go.
It isn't being woke about this bullshit today.
See, but
I'm
there you
talking
go with the
about woke
euphemisms
is
again,
I
though.
woke up to reality due to the fact that this happened and how it was and how it came about and who's to blame and why was I put in that situation as a child in the fucking first place.
There you go.
That's being woken up
And see, people
because it
don't
happened.
understand. Word spells, okay? Word spells. Being woke as opposed to what? Being asleep? So we're talking about consciousness,
Correct.
i.e., experience.
Right. The
So,
moment something happens, like we were just talking about that chancleta and Ricky was there and all that
right,
stuff. Those are things that happen to us. We
for real.
we were woken up by that chancleta,
Hey,
but at the same time, there were other things going on around our lives, and the ones that I blame for those things that happened to my personal life are those that were the responsible adult in the picture. If it wasn't for my own woken up moment of
mm-hmm,
losing my innocence, I would not have been able to deal with the victim, the tragedy of what happened. I
right.
was awakened by losing my innocence. And by the way, if anyone's thinking innocence is sexual, no, I'm talking about innocence in the world, opening of the eyes, if you may.
I'm
So
tracking.
it's sort of like that kind of the crack, the ceiling cracking. The old what's that phrase?
They lifting the veil.
People don't throw stones that live
Yeah,
in glass
glass
houses. Well,
houses.
guess
Yeah,
what? I never lived in a glass house. I was outside throwing the stones, and I had no idea that glass could break because of the stones until
right,
someone said, "This is what can happen," and showed me.
right.
So, being taught, being taught that, not being told, but taught through actions. Actions spoke and speak louder than words.
Right.
Louder than words.
Hey.
Living the life that we've lived in the sense of our own culture, our own male humanity. I'm talking for the male species at the moment. Our own male humanity with being fathers and having the experiences that we've had with the experiences that we've had, and not having to turn those experiences that were personal into our children and then to their children and so on and so forth, is keeping it away. That's what I loved what Aqua was saying about I want to at least shelter my daughters right now. I agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Shelter them for as far as you can. Once you realize can't shelter them no more, I got to put them into the right path, like you said with your
Yep.
son. I got to tell it like it is, you know. And hopefully, the goodness of raising a child in the good way, being there for them, having the conversations, having the moment of reality with them, helps them not become victims of whatever is happening in the world out there, but being aware and being accountable for
Mm.
their own actions in the society that they're entering, but also being aware that there are dangers out there.
So check this out. Everything's become a novelty. It's all so like you talking about raising daughters and stuff. Like I remember when my daughter was little, we go do dates. We go on dates, right?
Yeah.
And it's like my excuse to just go spoil a little badass and spend some money and just kick it. You know what I'm doing? I'm showing my daughter that she better find somebody like her daddy if she want to keep a daddy, because daddy don't want to go to prison. I ain't gonna be no good daddy in prison. And she's seeing how what shit to tolerate from a man. She also seeing that you are a woman, you a girl. Yes, you different. It's shit that girls can do that men can't do, and it's shit that men can do that girls can't do. You keep your hands to yourself. You respect yourself as a human being. If you get a good one, which you will, things should work out the way they should, because he'll already know
And
what to do, because his
right,
daddy taught him how to be a man.
and if they don't, they also know that, oh, okay, dad taught me something here. Let me apply that because
Exactly.
he taught me to be accountable for my own
Exactly.
actions and choices. So
But see, you know what I'm
there's
teaching,
the
bro?
learning. There's the learning part.
I'm gonna add something to that because I have to. I'm being responsible because we're talking about some real shit. I'm gonna be responsible and add this too. I teach them that accountability is not being a hyper masculine female, putting yourself in the situations where you lose your mind and he help you find it. What I'm teaching them is that a lady is supposed to carry themselves with elegance and dignity at all times. Never do anything unbecoming of yourself as a lady. That don't mean spitting on boys and beating, fighting. If you are, you will never be in a situation like that if you maintain yourself with elegance and dignity at all times. We will not have these conversations. Beating somebody ass if they touch you, baby, that's rhetorical. You my daughter. But there will be a decorum that we follow in this thing called life. And that's what people, you muted, big bro. People
I
people
thought I clicked out.
mistake accountability. Well, they got the word power fucked up. Being powerful or assertive does not mean being a dick. What that is your little fear biter, beat dog, puppy mentality manifesting itself in aggression because it's rooted deeply in fear. Let me tell you something. Lions do not concern themselves with the business of chihuahuas or rats or birds or squirrels. They too busy being lions. Ain't got nothing to
Yep.
prove. I don't gotta be a badass. I ain't gotta be an asshole. I just am one. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it
I think
is.
it's funny you mentioned a lion. You think the lion's going to worry about how the gazelle's going to feel when he grabs her throat? It's
No.
food. It's a
And then you
it's
see
a
the little baby lion
it's a
puppies coming out of the
normal.
book, There
It's
you
a
go.
nature. It's a natural occurrence where we got
Circle
to
of
look
life.
at. Yeah, what we got to look at is how much, because I mean the fact that we try to protect our children from pain. We got to teach them that pain is going to come no matter
That's
what.
right.
And what do you do, or what can you do to soften the power of pain and
Right.
fear? And it's exactly that. It's destroying the fear that gives us the power to sustain our pain. um there is a chance that something horrible may happen, because that is a society that we live in. That is the world that we live in. And there
Mm-hmm.
is no one and nothing that can stop it or control it at the moment of impact. Outside of that, we can prepare to shatter the fear and prepare our pain to be sustainable. That
Right.
is being accountable for our life and our children and their children and so on and so forth. And then when I mean children, I don't necessarily mean blood. I'm talking about the children of the future.
That's it.
And that is what's missing in our world today.
Mm.
And I remember a time, I don't know if you guys ever saw this. I mean, you're young enough to know. You remember when kids were put on leashes at
Yes.
the
Oh
mall?
shit. At Six Flags, and it was a certain demographic of people that was doing it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I
You
remember
see
that.
that happen today? You see that happening today?
Child abuse.
Yep, child abuse.
We just got beat in public, like on site anywhere, and that's just how the '80s was different. You could smoke in the store, like secondhand smoke my ass. Either we roll the window down and you freeze, or you keep the heater on and keep the windows up because the
Yep.
cigarette ain't going out.
No.
And that's just what it was. No seatbelts
It
either. We was all
right.
around in the damn car.
Our learning process. I mean, I appreciate the fact that I can say the things that I am saying, because it is a given that we have been able to survive, and I use the word survival in quotes,
Yeah.
the horrors that we lived through. But I wouldn't want my life on anyone else's life. I wouldn't want
No,
I wouldn't want to wish my life on anyone else.
not me
Good,
neither.
bad, or ugly as they is.
But you know
But
what?
I will call. I'm sorry.
I think at the end of the day, our experiences and our situations that we went through
Hmm.
makes us exactly who we are today.
That's
So
what I was gonna say.
I have
You
no
built for it.
100%.
Shit ain't
No
gonna happen to
regret.
you if you ain't built for it.
I have
You
no
know what I'm
regrets
saying?
from
Me
what
neither.
happened
I'm
to
built for
me or
this
how
shit.
it happened to me, because it's made me the person that I am today. So
Right.
if it wasn't for that, who knows what I would be like.
I got raised by movies, bro. What are you talking about? My grandma, look, when my mom got murdered in '87, I shit you not. Look, my granny, we don't do emotions, bro. We ain't doing no feelings. We're Catholic, bro. It's the '80s. My granny couldn't explain to me like about emotions and shit. So you know
Nope.
what? I got raised by movies, bro. We
Yep.
watched The Land Before Time, and when
Yep.
the goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex ate Littlefoot Mama in the movie, and he was crying and shit. That shit fucked me up. And my granny was like, she used it as opportunity to talk to me about grief.
Yep.
Dead
There
ass.
you go. There you
I
go.
still got the damn VHS in a
Yep.
thing with her handwriting on it. The Land Before Time. Don Bluth raised my ass. Fievel. Remember that the what the hell was that movie with the rat? The Russian mouse. The freaking all them
Oh,
sad ass movies. That's what
Rat
raised
Tail?
me.
No. What was it called? I forget
Land
what it's
Before
called.
Time. Fievel
No,
goes.
no.
What I don't. American Tail. There you
Yeah,
go.
American Tail. Right.
Yeah, that's sad shit. That's what raised Don Bluth films. That's what I grew up on. We didn't talk about emotions and shit, but I'm
Nope.
not a statistic. As far as I'm concerned, I beat the system. Shit,
Well,
Right.
I
gentlemen,
do pretty good for sitting on the couch.
we're gonna
Just
have to
saying.
wrap it up because I don't want to. I know there's Skipper's Aquarium is having
The
that
auctions in a
an
couple of
auction,
minutes.
and it's
Yeah,
really
that's
Yeah.
right.
for those of you not aware, it's actually for a very great cause. It's for Dr. Anthony. What he's doing, he's trying to raise money to be able
Funds
to provide
for
for gifts for kids that otherwise wouldn't be receiving anything. So you know, so I want to thank you guys for being up here and everybody else that came up here today with me. I know this was very spontaneous. I normally don't live stream on this channel. We do our thing every other Saturday. So next Saturday, Steve and I will be on Fish Plenty Mas. And, there the conversations are sort of like this, but more
It's about
oriented.
fish.
Yeah, everything's more hobby oriented. And sometimes we have guests, sometimes it's just us. But with that, I want to thank you guys all for being here. I've dropped the link for
Joe
Skipper's
got
Aquarium.
this song stuck in my head from the movie. There are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese. Because they had this montage, and they were singing that damn song. Now I'm about to go to YouTube, and I'm gonna play it. And God only knows the rabbit holes that I'm gonna go down in my trauma of memory. I probably end up crying and shit. I'm gonna journal it though. Y'all start journaling. If you kind of get like in a bad way with these holidays coming up real quick, write that stuff down. Release yourself from it and write it down. I have so many. Look, when I die and the people go through my notebooks, they gonna be like, that dude was fucked up. I got all kinds of stuff, and you bastards are probably gonna get rich off of it because I got some
probably.
good stuff in here, man. Just crazy abstract stuff. Write it down and get it out.
Yeah.
Be better.
And be
Yeah.
strong.
There you
No
go.
matter what, be
So-
strong. Thank you very much, Mexi George. Thank you, Steve. It's been great. Thank you, chat, for being there. I have been reading your chat, Silver and Joe Java.
Yeah,
They were right
Joe.
there with us. Thank you so
So-
much.
We'll do this again. I don't promise it'll be soon, just because of my way my schedules are. But we'll try to schedule a little bit better, I guess.
Oh, wait. Before you go, I have 4 streams coming up in December. Every week I'll be doing since from the 19th to the 30th.
The 12 days of Christmas.
I have 4 streams coming up, and I've been downloading videos. But I got 4 streams coming up. You're more than welcome to come and join me. I'll send you an invite and
I might pull up.
the StreamYard link so you guys can come up. We're just going to be dealing with whatever pops in our heads and dealing with how it is. How do we prepare for the holiday?
Mhm.
What happens? It basically is what do we prepare for the holidays for ourselves? What do we want? What are we going to get for our tanks or orchids? Hello. I mean, that way, hello. Or, what ended up being our reality after this fantasy of what we were doing for Christmas and then what
Mhm.
actually happened? Because as a child, here's my last thought. As a child, I remember having very high expectations as, what I'm going to get. And what I got was underwear, t-shirts, and socks from my
socks.
mom.
Come on.
And all the little things that did not that. Did
Remember
I
the
need 'em?
Sears catalog? They called it
Yeah,
the
I
wish
don't
book
know,
on
you know.
purpose because
But
our
to
broke
deal with
asses
the
wish we
wonderfulness
could
of
get
that.
something. I remember
So
that
to
Sears
me,
catalog, bro.
right. But to me, it is about those 4 streams and connecting and making sure that we're good to go. And by the way, if you are streaming, Mexi, if you are streaming regularly, make sure to join the Fish Fam, so that our the chat can also participate in winning and having a Santa Claus visit us. Go to the
Okay.
fishfam.chris or fish fam
Yeah,
Christmas and
but
do that. I've done it, so
we
I'll be
submitted
doing
it.
that.
We submitted. Well, I submitted it for Fish Planty Mas because that's really our regular stream. I
Correct.
don't
Yeah.
really stream a whole lot because I do try to keep a balance, and that's one of the reasons. Because believe it or not, I really do enjoy the company of my wife. So on the weekends that I'm not
You
streaming
don't have to say
or
that,
up,
bro. You should enjoy that's your queen.
and
Yep.
Berto's trying to call me on the phone. I'll call him back right now.
All right.
And
Damn it,
Well,
Berto.
so I like to have time, so that's why I don't do it. I mean, I could do this every weekend, but I need to have some balance. So that's
It's
why
not
I
the
don't.
same.
feel-
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I mean, they
I
were like,
like
when
what
are you
we
going to
got
stream
now.
again? When are you going to stream again? I'm like, with my
Whenever.
schedule at work, there was no way in hell I was going to stream from July to now. And on the weekends is the only time that I have for me, because every day it's a 12-hour shift and I'm exhausted. Well,
Oh,
thank
what
you very
happened in
much.
Argentina?
I will see
I
you
gotta
guys
go
at
down
the
a rabbit hole.
auction. I already filled up my PayPal just in case.
Okay,
Already.
all right, guys.
See you
Thanks
guys.
for being
Alright.
here
Good
with
night,
me.
everyone. Good night,
Good
chat.
night.
See you later.